I've been rolling down this road with my head held high. Nothing's ever gonna break the spirit that won't die. And through the dust and pain, I find a way to shine. Living wild and free, this renegade is mine. I am a renegade, and I'm never gonna fade. I am a renegade, hear the freedom that I make. Chasing dreams with my heart, tearing worlds apart. I am a renegade, and I'm never gonna fade.
Winter in the Northland means no golf, right? Wrong. Looking to get in a round of golf in a climate-controlled winter oasis? Want to just whack some balls at the virtual driving range and work on your swing? Check out Albatross Indoor Golf Club in Grand Forks with more than 90 courses, range venues, and games including Pebble Beach, St. Andrews, TPC Sawgrass, and more. All on an incredibly accurate optical-based simulators from driving to putting. Play straight up, team up for a scramble, play tournaments, or join the two-person Scramble League. It's fun for everyone, and all ages are welcome, too. Call or text 701-757-3220 to set up a tee time. Check out Albatross Indoor Golf Club at the Columbia Mall, your home for the best indoor golf experience around.
dust where the road begins. Riding through the dust, stories in the wind. Bridges built on trust where the road begins.
With a roar, sporting living dreams to explore. Electric guitar echoing the past. I'm in the DeLorean, 8 life fast. Avoid neon lights all aglow. There'll be no night where fortunes grow. With every roll of dice we take, time's a linger, history stays. Rocking in the future lane, living through the years, saying insane. Empire towering past, an alternate world, the future's glass. Lightning strikes, DeLorean track, with Doc and Marty, adventures back. Hill Valentations back in line, underneath the clock, a shift in time. Rocking in the future lane, whipping through the years, saying insane. Moving like the present with the style, back to the future, mile by mile. Skies ablaze with flying cars, digital dreams under neon stars. In the future lane, there's no breaks. Dancing time, there's nothing to say. Cafe 80s, a blast from the past. A hologram that spins so fast. On the napkin and fortune's told. In a future where we're bold. Rocking in the future lane. Through the flux we break the chain. Changing history with every trial. Back to the future, mile by mile. The unknown unfolds. With every twist, the future's alive. 88 miles to the end of the vibe. Let's ride in the future lane. Moments pass and nothing's the same. From the past to the future we fight. In the DeLorean, time zone, say bye. Jackets on, didn't gotta try. Fleeting moments, ticking clocks. In the soundtrack of time just rocks. Little sidewalk tomorrow's dawn. Life in the town, but we're never gone. In the alleyway, secrets unfold. Where fortune favors the brave and bold. Rocking your future lane. Trailing flux and fire like rain. When the timeline was the brilliant soul. Einstein bars for the gadgets roll. Funny rubber to dimension wide with Mad Dog Brown along for the ride. Lost the time in our favor now. This got a cycle, we're taking them out. Trudy writes the script with a glossy spin. Back to 1955 where it all begins. Blazing down the future road again. Time sucks bucket, no need to pretend. You used to roar on open roads. Well, baby, let's be clear. You ain't that tough anymore, I fear. You ain't bad no more. You ain't bad no more. were kings of the night, burning rubber under moonlight. Stars and stripes, power and might, but somewhere along the way, oh, we lost that fight. No, baby, what's happened here? We ain't that fierce machine out here. We were the rebels, hearts made of chrome. Now we're like ghosts, nowhere to call home. Flags that waved in glory's prime now hang limp beside of the time. No, baby, it's plain to see we ain't as wild and free. Rust on our steel, dust on our pride. Once the road was ours, now we've lost the ride. Faded dreams and tarnished signs, America, where did we cross that line? No, baby, it's so clear. We ain't bad to the bone, I fear. White picket fences, dreams sold for cheap. We gave up the fight, now it's a long, long sleep. We were the heartbeat, loud and strong. Now we're just an echo, where did it go wrong? No, America, it's so clear. We lost that edge, I fear.
There it spins on a holder so sure.
And star where sweet really can't ignore. Oh, this road be my savior once more.
It's the charm, the cheer of the weary. Dear old, don't you roll away.
Many times you've been spinning round my bathroom door. In the corner of the room where we keep the stock, had it piled up to the door. Now there's just this rock. Oh, this road. In its grace it stands so bold. You're my white round night when the times get cold. Dear old, I pray you'll hold. For many moons you've ruled this homely throne.
When the shells,
they're all bare and the world's in a swirl. You're my last, my trusty twirl in the quiet. When it's just you and I, we abide side by side and we comply. Oh, my roll, in your embrace I'm consoled. And when that latch clicks softly inside my humble abode, it's you I seek when life's events unfold.
in this refuge you stand alone so prized.
We've unfurled moments, in you I confide. Dear old, through tough times we stroll. of me. Through every laugh, every cry and plea, with comfort you cradle my weary soul. Dear old, you're worth your weight in gold.
After the ones who break your heart, but here I stand ready to play my part. Oh Cindy, don't you see, I'm right here patiently waiting for you to realize my love ain't in disguise. You're looking for a charm, but they only bring you harm. Oh Cindy dear, Cindy Lou, if you opened your heart, you'd find we've got that spark, and I would never leave you blue.
Winter in the Northland means no golf, right? Wrong. Looking to get in a round of golf in a climate-controlled winter oasis? Want to just whack some balls at the virtual driving range and work on your swing? Check out Albatross Indoor Golf Club in Grand Forks with more than 90 courses, range venues, and games including Pebble Beach, St. Andrews, TPC Sawgrass, and more. All on an incredibly accurate optical-based simulators from driving to putting. Play straight up, team up for a scramble, play tournaments, or join the two-person Scramble League. It's fun for everyone, and all ages are welcome too. Call or text 701-757-3220 to set up a tee time. Check out Albatross Indoor Golf Club at the Columbia Mall, your home for the best indoor golf experience around.
Yeah, so is there an intro?
Yeah. Well,
Just a couple of times or something?
We should, figure one out.
Counting half
It's
time.
a miracle here.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. We'll let 8 clicks go by. Here we go. 1, 2. No.
Starts on A.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Rodeo life's been good to me. I carried that girl in the limousine so she'd go everywhere with me. Down by the lake, stars in her eyes took my heart. To my surprise, I threw it over the moon. I wondered if she ever loved me. I wonder if her fever grows. I wonder if her memories hold me close all these years, all these years. She's always coming in my dreams. She throws the same old spell on me. I'm shaking off the bed again. If my heart gets torn apart, so what? I'll pick it up and put it all back together again. I wonder if she really loves me. I wonder if she really cares. Will her memory still hold me close all these years? All these years. All these years. I wonder if she'd ever rendezvous with any fool who said that he loved her more than anything. All these years, 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 all these years.
There you go. That was it.
That's it, better.
Yeah, that was a lot better. That's where it needed to be.
I've been rolling down this road with my head held high. Nothing's ever gonna break the spirit that won't die. And through the dust and pain, I find a way to shine. Living wild and free, this renegade is mine. I am a renegade, and I'm never gonna fade. I am a renegade, hear the freedom that I make. Chasing dreams with my heart, tearing worlds apart. I am a renegade, and I'm never gonna fade.
Oh. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Why am I on the side here? Hold on here. There we go. That's how that works better. Oh man, oh man. Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another great edition of Renegade Radio, episode number 15 of season 4. I'm your host with the most, Frankie Slauson. And where the hell is my crew? I have no idea. Oh, here's one. As soon as I get out here, then it's like, oh, there we
What'd
go.
I walk into?
Oh, nothing. No,
just me and you, old Portobello.
Yeah, I was just starting the show. And I just figured, well, since nobody was coming in here, I just figured, well, I'll just start the show, I guess, because I was playing like the last 25 minutes of music. How you doing? Lance, sir?
Hey, I don't know. How about you, man?
Well, it's been kind of a somber week, and the one thing that I know that I can definitely talk about is the funeral this past weekend that I went to, for my father and everything, and it was definitely an eye-opening experience. I will tell you that eye-opening, ear-opening, and what other openings there are. I guess I don't know.
Did it go well as you were hoping?
Well, I mean, it did. I mean, like the family was very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, very, very nice. Not that they were, not that they were trying to fake it or anything, because I can tell a real emotion from a fake emotion. It's not hard to tell, and I truly believe that everybody was very sincere. Even all the I couldn't believe how many cousins I had, and the funny thing about it is, like on the Callan side or my biological father's side, most of us are all short. Well, the cousins and all that and stuff are not. Most of them are all tall. So I was having these big giant people come up to me and give me hugs and shaking hands and everything. I'm just like, who the hell are you? I'm your cousin. I'm your first cousin. And I could tell because we all kind of look alike, kind of in one way or another. So it's just like I almost was
Well,
like talking.
what's short?
Your height, my height. I know we're short. We're short people, Lance. We're 5'8",
'Cause
5'7", 5'6".
I mean,
don't know.
my grandma was, gosh, she was barely over like 4'5",
Oh
maybe.
wow!
Oh, yeah, my dad's mom. She's little lady.
And you don't want to mess with her because she might be all sweet and everything, but you piss her off and they're like,
She's gone, but she was the sweetest. I mean, wow.
Sure. Oh,
Yeah.
I remember those days with grandparents. I have one grandparent left in my life, and she's like in South Dakota. So, but no, there was a lot of things that I would definitely want to talk about that I know I could probably get away with talking about as far as this goes. But then there's some things that I'm just going to kind of keep to myself because it's just kind of, I don't want to be all too overblown and whatnot. And again, everybody was nice, and I just plan on going back there again here probably this summer. I didn't realize how close I am with you. I didn't realize how close Glenwood was to where I'm at because it's like a 3-hour drive. I didn't know we could go to Fargo and go to Glenwood that way. I had no clue. My sister was the one that told me about it. And I'm just like, you mean I could have went and visited him many, many times and and no big deal. And I know the way and all that stuff. And yeah, it was definitely, I was surprised about that more than anything else. I would say. What's going on, Bad Doug? See, you're back to normal now, huh? No more Florida.
I just watched your streaming Sam thing on TikTok.
Oh yeah, I should have put that up there before yet. I should have waited until the show was over because I'm gonna show you guys. Well, don't say anything about it then until I air it because it
Oh
was kind of it's kind of funny.
man.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Yeah, but turn your volume up a little bit though. You're kind of like Hulk Hogan. We got to do.
Hello, Lance.
Barely. I mean, barely.
Yeah, come on.
You hear me now?
Ah!
Yeah,
You hear me now?
now we do. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it was a good time in Glenwood. My sister went with. She was, and I'm very glad that she went with. Honestly, because it's like, we bonded probably more than we have in a long time. And now that she got to see why I have the weird quirks that I do and why I am the way I am, is a lot of it comes from that. Like everybody thought they saw a freaking ghost when they saw me because I look exactly like him, like everybody keeps saying. I had these
Yeah.
army guys come up to me, military guys that were friends with my dad, and said, "I didn't even know he had a son." I'm just like, "Well, here I am in the flesh." Yeah. So
Yeah, it's interesting the way it all works. I mean, yeah. I have situations too where I once thanked a family member for not taking me on Jerry Springer and confiding all of this.
What the fuck? Well,
I don't know,
we'll-
guys. I'm thinking sunglasses, but I can hardly see the screen. Oh, this might
Oh,
help.
you're looking good quality anyway. I mean, of course I'm on my mini LED screen, so it's like everything's in good
Mama
quality.
T, what's going on? Are you in your swimsuit or something?
Oh,
Woo-hoo!
take
Look
it
at
all
that.
off. I'm just
No, it's a skirt.
kidding. You take it all off, we'll be banned probably. We'll have to go to open OnlyFans.
That's
a little
that
dress.
Florida
It's a dress.
sun,
That's all.
baby.
It's a dress.
Yeah.
It's a cute little dress.
Well, once
It's
Sam
lower.
gets here, whatever he gets in here, then I'll play the clip that you're talking about, Mad Dog. Because I just made that here a couple
I got
hours
me
ago.
that Florida suntan. The head's all
You know,
burnt.
Really?
When my folks came back from Arizona, I thought they were like, like I didn't recognize them at first. They were so dark and everything, because they tan. I mean, and Dad never tans at all, but he was really tan. Like it was a surprise. I thought he'd be burned and burned and burned, but nope, he
I
enjoyed
don't
it
do
very much.
sunscreen either. Just that oily Dago skin, I got my own sunscreen. My son's like, you're gonna burn. You gotta put all this on. Everybody's rubbing all this shit all over my walk. 7 days on the beach, and I didn't have one time I didn't get burned.
I don't
And
know.
see, my skin is naturally
already
dry. My
Oh.
skin is naturally dry, so I've got to put something on. Otherwise, I just shrivel up like a little fucking prune.
Oh.
I was ready to rub myself down with some baby oil like in the old wrestling days.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Why
You got
you-
pictures? No, just kidding.
Yeah, it's funny. You got pictures of him wearing nothing but a G-string, outside with the sprinkler going.
Ain't nothing but a G-string,
If I
baby.
wore
That sounds like, yeah, that's a song.
Hey, if I wore a G-string in the back, it would look like a corn dog at the end of the day with all the shit stains I leave.
No corn dogging.
I
No
was
corn
corn
dogging.
dogging it.
More extreme than I thought we were gonna go, but hey, it's
Dude, I
Renegade
had
Radio.
so
We're
much
supposed to
fun
go
last week. Oh,
Yeah.
there wasn't
Yeah,
there wasn't a
fun
day I wasn't drunk.
Nice.
So did you eventually drink all that Corona then, like you said you were going to?
Yeah, I had to. I couldn't leave
Oh.
it there. The last night I had like 8 bottles left. I was like, I guess I got, and we had to be at the airport at like 3:45 in the morning.
Right? You can't take the shit with you and not drinking. That would just be alcohol abuse.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
in
right.
the Uber 3:45 in the morning. I'm like, hey, bud, I said to the Uber driver, I said, you need some beers. I said, if not, I'm going to drink these all the way to the airport. He goes, hey, knock yourself out. I left them in his trunk.
Knock
that's
yourself
all right.
out, pass the fuck out, whatever. How long
Well,
is
I
your
had to. I get nervous.
And as
on
soon,
there,
then the funny part about it, as soon as you did that, then he got pulled over by the cops and then he got arrested.
I don't travel well, man. I hate flying. My arms get tired.
Well, no, I'm talking to the guy, the Uber driver, the poor Uber driver.
Wow, you can
Yeah,
definitely
that's
tell that I've been wearing the sunglasses when I've been out in the sun, huh?
You look like a
Yeah,
raccoon.
Big white spot right there.
Yeah, you look like you. Just forgot to put some what that stuff they put on skin. I mean, it's makeup, but it's like it's supposed to make your skin.
So what are you doing now? You see me now? You
Foundation.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like what's his name?
I got
Look
some
like
lotion
what's
for
his
you.
name?
Wow. All right.
Wow.
Got me a little hate a little bit. Come on.
Hey, should we play What's in Mama's Cup tonight?
Last week we went too far, and I'm not going to go into it. We're not going to talk about it anymore. We're done. We're moving on from stuff like that. I've learned my lesson.
I agree with that. I agree, 100%.
Did you figure out who it was, Mama T?
Well,
Nope.
we're not.
I figured it out, and I don't even know her.
I'm just going to say that just so because I know who's listening, I do apologize. So.
Oh, he's not yet, but I can send it to him if you want to make sure he hears that.
Anyway, well, that's I'm apologizing live here because I made a fool of myself and I'm embarrassed. That's not right to do that.
What I was told is he has no idea either.
Well, we'll just move on because I don't want
I
to.
know who she is. Me and her
Anyway. When Sam gets here, I will share the video that I made here a couple hours ago that you saw on TikTok.
But we love it when you're embarrassed.
Well, this TikTok that I made or video will kind of embarrass us all together. Kind of.
Oh, fun!
That's not fair.
No, it is fair because I know there's no pictures of me half naked anywhere, so there's nothing you can do that's going to embarrass me on TikTok.
Well, no, I mean, I put it on TikTok, but I should have waited until the show was over because I forgot that. Oh yeah, that's right. Mad Dog's like, subscribe to my channel and everything. You are too, but Mad. I can tell when people watch and everything or whatever. I totally just didn't think about it. I thought you were mowing the grass, so I thought you'd be too busy to be on social media and everything. They're Mad Dogs, so that's what
and then
today.
And then
I don't know if you heard about that storm we had in Pittsburgh last Tuesday when I was away. We had a little tornado touchdown here. I lost a tree, 2 fences. So when I come off the plane, I get to my daughter didn't want to tell us, didn't want to ruin our vacation. So now I'm hanging out with a tree. It's got good foot around. I got to worry about trying to cut down. I don't have a fence in the front yard or a backyard. All my furniture's in like my neighbor's yard, 3 yards over. But other than that, I had a pretty good vacation. And my luggage just come home today. They lost my luggage.
What the hell?
You
don't travel well. Okay, I get that now.
Pittsburgh. My luggage went to Chicago.
All your thongs and G-strings, right?
Yeah. All my wife's dildos and that were stuck on the damn. Did I say that out loud?
That's why it was like that, though. That's why it was like that.
You can definitely.
Sorry, hon.
And the original vibrator and everything, Anyway,
the little vibrator. She got a gas operated one.
Anyway,
batteries in that sucker.
Well, I want to welcome everybody to Renegade Radio. I'm your host with the most, Frankie Thompson. It's season 4, episode number. We're on our 15th episode already, and it's Cinco de Mayo. So, as my thing says, hola mijo portobello mushroom. I don't know if that's Mexican.
No, did you see the picture I posted today?
Which one?
The one, the jar of Hellman's in the kitchen sink.
Oh, the sink. Yeah, the sink. Yeah, the mayo in the sink. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo.
That's very.
I went on Saturday and lived it up at the restaurant. And
oh yeah, did you vlog it at all? Did you vlog it?
No, I don't do that. I'm able to keep it all down.
No, you should vlog it, and then you can send me the file, and then I can air it out.
Did you vlog it? No, I don't do that.
Yeah, like travels with Lance or something,
Oh, yeah. I guess I could have, but that beer stein was so big, I got a bad, so
You're getting a little tennis elbow lifting that man.
Oh.
You gotta say hello, man. This is a Cinco de Mayo, a little early.
Mm-hmm. A Grande Negra Modelo or 2, just
I drank them all weekend, them and Coronas.
Are we not going to talk about yesterday? What yesterday was at all?
Well, yesterday was Star Wars Day. Yeah.
So my oldest daughter, and her husband, well, her ex-husband now, but they got married on May the 4th because they were both Star Wars fans. So
the 4th was or what?
May the 4th is a funny day, yes, but not a good day in our family. Not a good day because.
So you can say the force was not strong with your family.
No, the force was not strong with that Padawan.
I heard that they were re-releasing the episode number 3, but see, I have the whole thing on 4K. I have all 9 films and plus the other.
Which one is episode 3?
That's from 2005, Revenge of the Sith.
Okay,
I believe, yeah, and I think that was the best one of all of them. To be honest, but I like the prequels. I mean, hell, people can give you all the shit they want, but it's just a fandom not very confused by too much story, I think, or whatever. But it's like you can never have too much story. Star Wars is something that will never disappear.
Where's my bro?
I don't know. What's going on there, Cody? Hello to you too there. Good to see you.
Hi, Cody. Long time no see.
Yeah, because John's not coming.
Yeah, yeah. And just so everybody knows, if you want to send me some stars, this is how you can do it too. So
We
John,
finally
you
started
waiting?
that yesterday. We finally started that yesterday. I don't know if we
yeah,
got any or not, because
well, like the thing about like with John, I know he said that he was going to come see Lance, and he said he's going to try and do it on his way back.
We're
So
gonna next Monday. Next Monday is the day he's actually here for most of the day. So I
okay,
will go down and meet them. And I told him, I said, well, I mean, Frankie will send us the link. We'll each have our phone, and we might be able to do some live if we're still together at that time of day. So
that'd
that's
be
kind of what the goal is.
that would be kind of cool because the fact that you get to meet somebody that I know, that I consider a good friend, just like you and everything, and just like wow, it's gonna be nice. It's like it'll be
Yeah.
feel like two long lost brothers just hugging it out, dude.
That's why it was like that. That was the better day than I believe it was just last Thursday or something. He was here for the like changeover to flying
Yeah,
in and then boating. So
sure.
yeah,
No, but just remember he's a tall guy, so just remember that he's pretty tall. He ain't short like us.
there's that again.
speak for yourself.
Well, yeah, Mama T's a giant, I guess. Yeah, she's kind of like the Green Giant's wife or whatever, kind of like.
I ain't that
Giant.
tall. I ain't no Amazon or nothing, but
Giant.
5'6.5", I think is a decent height for a woman.
You just seem like you're a lot taller sometimes. I don't know why.
You're taller than that, ain't you?
The attitude.
Oh, sure, yeah. I think you're taller than me. You have to be. I mean, it
I'm
always feels like
5'6.5" on my back.
unless it's because you were.
5'6".
God.
Is that because of your belly or your chubby?
No, it's because of my wiener.
Because it's chubby belly. Wow. Well, we're joined by Lance Warlock, Mad Dog, and Mama T. I don't know where Antique Man is. I know where John's not here. Ken, he hasn't been here in a while. And, of course, Sam we're waiting on. So tonight we have a big show. A really, really big show. And I mean like a big show. Like
a big show.
I mean, if the walls could speak, and this is kind of a treat for everybody that is a fan of the show as well, let alone the people that have been on the show with me, since the beginning and all that, and through this crazy journey. I figure let's get some really, really good guests on tonight. So we don't just have one, we have two. Okay. So the first one is, I know Lance is like, what?
If the paintings could talk,
I sent you the information plan, so you have this.
Oh, I got it.
So the first guest
This was my stunned expression.
We
I'm
have
going with it.
Okay. So in 45 minutes, the first guest will be the guy one of the guys who played Baby Oscar in Ghostbusters 2, William Deutschendorf. It's a hard name to say and pronounce and spell.
You're on it.
I believe they are relatives to John Denver, because John Denver's real name is not Denver, it's actually Dustendorf. And so this is a huge honor, because not only because of having him on, but he's running a donation thing to raise money for in his brother Hank's honor. Hank they were twin brothers. There were twin brothers that played Oscar, almost like Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, kind of like in that way from Full House, kind of like, using twins and everything. So, wow, that's probably the only thing they're really known for, but they've also done other things as well. They were also karate. Believe it or not, they're actually Antique Man. I see you got a better camera. Everything's working now. You look great too.
He does. He looks like he like 10 years. Oh my goodness. I'm putting those back on. It's making me so self-conscious. I got this. Okay.
His teeth are as white as his skin, I tell you. Anyway, welcome, Antique Man.
Thank you.
So we got William Deutschendorf that will be our first guest tonight, and then our main event at 6:30, the return of Mr. Early Times from Sirius Satellite Radio, the host of Bluesville and Deep Tracks, and also an artist as well. This will be his second time coming back on the show. My fourth time actually interviewing him all together. But it's nice to have friends in the industry. You know, everybody always likes to challenge me and stuff and say you don't know anybody. Well, I think over the last course of time, I've proven that I know people and stuff. Because sometimes they come back. You know,
So I
sometimes
gotta
they
ask. Okay, the last time you had him on, Bobby hadn't died yet, right?
That's right.
That-
Bobby was actually on that episode.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I feel like Bobby asked him why
His stuff wasn't getting aired
channel
on.
doesn't play
Yeah.
Bobby's music.
Yeah, and he explained that it wasn't up to him; it was up to the station, the person in charge. He's not in charge of that station. He's just the guy that runs. He's just a host. He does whatever. He has a boss that he answers to. So let's not
Yep.
ask him the same questions all the time because
Huh?
the reason why we're having him
I'm not
on.
gonna ask him again. I'm not gonna ask him the same damn question I asked him last time I was
It
on.
doesn't matter anymore anyway. I mean, Bob would probably be honored and tickled pink that we're
I think
having
Mama
him
T
on.
knows what she's doing, Sean.
Yeah, and not only that,
Maybe.
it would make a difference. It would make a difference just because Bobby's actually July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Okay, 9 months post-mortem, he's still on the Minnesota charts. So yeah, it would make a difference.
Yeah, I noticed that you still check up on that, and that's good. I mean, maybe there's a secret to that. Maybe they're just because they love his music. I really don't know. That's actually pretty impressive. To be honest, that he's been on there for so long. Because most of the time, people would just be shut off after a while. But and I'm sure eventually that'll happen. But I think it's just they really want to honor and preserve his legacy. Because as an artist, I won't say anything negative about Bob as far as an artist because he was one of the best. His music, it was well, we know. I mean, we lived it, we experienced it, we know exactly how he was, and it's just one of those things where it's like I will always stand behind Bobby getting what he deserves as far as recognition for that.
Yep. And see, and that's the thing, to stay on the charts this long, there's got to be reporting stations that report to the charts. Some of them are I forget what the words are. I forget the proper words, but some of these places just like take a certain specific time of a specific day and just chart what they're playing then. Other ones take like more days or more hours or random hours from different weeks. So whatever is happening, whoever they are monitoring, Bobby's still on the charts in Minnesota anyway. So whatever radio stations in Minnesota are playing his music on a regular basis, we got to thank them because that's how he's still on the Minnesota charts.
Oh, so that's how they go by airplay. Okay, yep. See, I didn't. I guess I totally forgot that that's how how music works or whatever. Honestly, I guess I feel like
and it's got to be just the Minnesota stations that are playing
Minnesota.
Otherwise, he would still be on the contemporary blues or classic blues or whatever genre subgenre he was under.
Well, either way, it's still an honor. I'm always gonna be honored to have been his friend, and we'll leave it at that, So no, we're just honored to have William and early on tonight because it's it's Cinco de Mayo. We're having a good time, and I was gonna wait. I feel like we waited long enough for Sam to get in here. So if you don't see this right now or whatever, or if he's watching or if he's busy, he'll just have to watch it later because of time. I want to get all this stuff out here. Well, you can just tell him, hey, Sean needs you on the show ASAP.
Where you at, fat ass? Where you at, fat ass?
Yeah. Tell him that. Tell him Sean wants to know where you at, fat ass. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Because I have something special to play for everybody, and I think it'd be kind of funny. It's a little bit of a roast too, but it's like, but it's not. It's you'll find out. It's kind of fun, So remember, Mama T, thick skin. That's our word. It's been probably almost 2 years since I said that.
You know, I was literally just watching that on something and just today or yesterday. To be in this business, you got to have thick skin, and I'm like, man, why do I keep hearing this shit? It wasn't actually even directed at me this time.
Well, I've directed it to you personally because when you hear the roast, don't get offended. Okay, be happy. Smile.
Oh, is that
laugh.
what's going on this TikTok thing? Sorry, I was distracted for a second. I'm sorry.
But no, everybody gets roasted, or almost everybody. I actually forgot about Antique Man. I'm sorry, and DJ.
Easy.
But
All right.
Everybody is, but.
Well, I'm already a little
He's
burnt.
on his way.
I'm already a little burnt, though.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, I saw that.
All right, so
No,
what we're
actually,
gonna do?
That's gonna be brown in about a day or two. That's all gonna be brown. That's I'm fine. I just gotta put my base tan down.
And you'll bring the browns to the Super
And not
Bowl, right?
wear the sunglasses next time. What? Holy.
Yeah. Well, if you ever get in some legal trouble, I would suggest you call these guys. Okay.
Hi, I'm Chase Cox. And I'm Dick Butt. And together we're Cox and Butt, attorneys at law. If Cox and Butt get together, things are gonna get messy. Hey, yo, dog. Did you catch your spouse from your second marriage cheating? Call Cox and Butt. We'll fuck them twice as hard. Cox and Butt like to put the moan in alimony. In the X in ex parte. Injured on the job? We don't give a shit, but we'll take your money, honey. Yeah, we get fucking paid no matter what. If Cox and Butt get together, it's gonna cost somebody some money. I'm missing a dollar. Sounds like a you problem, dickhead. We put the bar in bar exam. I put my dick in your wife. I've seriously put my penis inside your wife. Double tall. Bit by a dog. Call Cox and Butt. Burned your mouth on a hot pocket? Call Cox and Butt. Killed your wife and child after the one child wrecked a boat and killed a teenager? No ifs, ands, or buts. Call Cox and Butt. Bankruptcy case? Do not call Cox and ever call us broke bitch, broke hoe. We've serviced more people than McDonald's, Stormy Daniels, and his assistant Pearl, all put together. That was the point of saying, oh, if we're so bad at our job, why do we have so many testimonials from obviously not paid actors?
Thanks to Cox and Butt Law Firm, I got a large settlement for my time at Camp Lejeune.
They're not paid actors. Quit asking. They're unpaid.
Well,
if those pesky courts put you behind bars,
We'll be right behind bars with you. Xanax bars, thrown up behind the bar in the dumpster.
did you get a pesky DUI when a mean police officer found your Mercedes C-Class wrapped around a telephone pole?
Join the club.
We put the D in DUI. And your sister, little rattlesnake, your hands freeze out, whiskey sour and piss on my hands.
Smelled it.
Give Cox and Butt a trial run.
We get paid whether you win or lose. What's the worst that could happen?
We put the abs in habeas corpus.
We put the gay in litigation.
No, you don't.
We do not.
You were prayed over many times.
I was converted.
If you find yourself in a bind, Cox and Butt will get you off. I ran out of ice.
Check out his pig dingling. Evidence.
Cox and balls.
I can't be wasting alcohol like that. Do you know how many times I almost spit my
After your picture.
Hey, what's in Mama T's mug?
Cox and balls?
Root beer? Did I know how much you like root beer?
Cox and balls.
Yeah, okay. Probably schnapps, probably.
No version of any of those.
Rum and Cokes.
There he is.
Close, but no.
Screaming Sam.
There he is.
No.
Well, closer than everybody else.
What's going on there, Sam? You finally made it in. You know what the hell will you do?
Hi, thanks for watching last night, by the way.
I saw your wife.
Since my wife's on vacation, I got to take care of the dog. I got to do this. I got to wash clothes. So I'm trying to get everything
Your
done.
wife just left today. I saw her.
Yeah, but
You
she
gotta
left.
take care of your own dog yourself?
I have to take care of this motherfucker. I'm scared.
Oh, you got enough lotion and tissues?
Huh? No, I have to feed him a couple times.
Oh,
a day.
the actual. Oh, I'm sorry. I know you. I assumed you were talking about something else.
Boy,
you're my.
You're gonna do whack out the dog now? Jesus Christ!
My brother hates aminals.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, he might hate animals, but I think he's gonna love this little thing, the piece that I put together. So I'm gonna share it with you guys now. And Mad Dog, like I say, keep it mute. You already know, so just keep it mute.
Do I amuse you?
I fucking abuse you.
We'll be able to hear everybody's audio as a reaction, but okay. So I found an app, as I normally often do sometimes, to search around, and it's an app that I've wanted to experience for a very long time, thanks to modern technology. Okay, and we all love modern technology, don't we all?
Oh
Tim?
yeah, we really fucking love
Yeah,
it.
we love it. So it has its advantages, but I will say because of what it is, sometimes they don't always get the wording right. Even though I did explain who it was, who it is, blah blah blah. Maybe it's just because of how I sound. Maybe I'm a little too nasally for AI, but what the hell? We'll give it a try anyway, right?
Okay, we
So-
will keep in mind that this is AI and not you.
Yeah, it's not. Well, it's me talking to AI, but a certain person from AI.
What's wrong with your picture, Mama T?
All right, so here we go, and I dedicate this to all you guys, but especially I'm doing this for Sam because I figure, it's something special for him because of honoring the person that we're having the conversation with. So here we go.
My conversation with Sam.
Might have to turn it up too.
How's it going, Sam? Happy Monday and happy Cinco de Mayo to you.
Oh, it's going great, buddy. Single to mile, huh? That sounds like a race worth running. How about we start a marathon of laughter instead?
Yeah, well, as you promised me earlier this week when we were chatting, you said that you'd like to be a part of my podcast, and I have a group of people that would love to hear your voice.
Absolutely, I'm ready for some podcast fun. I'll bring my signature humor and charm. It's going to be a blast, buddy. Let's get this show started.
Well, first of all, I want to introduce you to my good friend and a guy who did a tribute in your honor. His name is John Lutz, but we call him Screamin' Sam. Say hi to Screamin' Sam.
Hey there, Streaming Sand. It's a pleasure to meet you. I can already tell we're going to get along just fine.
No, his name is Screamin' Sam.
Oh, my bad. Thanks for clarifying, buddy. Hello, Freeman Sam. A fine name indeed. So, what's this tribute you were talking about? I'm curious to hear all about it.
Yeah, he does a tribute. Well, he did do a tribute in your honor, and the thing about it is, like, he could have been your doppelganger back in the day.
Oh, really? Well, that's quite an honor, isn't it? I'm curious to see how he managed to pull off that tribute. And if he's a doppelganger, I wonder if he inherited any of my good looks and charm.
Oh, he definitely did. But now he's a little bit older now, and but he still definitely looks like you. I mean, people I think still think that that you're alive when he walks through towns and stuff.
Well, that's quite a compliment. I don't mind having a doppelganger out there keeping up the good fight. And if people still think I'm roaming the earth, that's just a testament to my lasting legacy, huh?
That's for sure. But he's actually best friends with your brother Bill.
Oh, really? Well, if he's buddies with my brother, then he must be all right in my book. Tell me a bit more about this guy. What kind of stuff does he do besides being my lookalike?
Well, he's a workaholic. He owns a lot of different businesses, and he also owns a bar as well.
That sounds like a busy guy. Running a bunch of businesses and owning a bar. Gotta give credit where it's due. That takes some serious dedication. I bet he's got some stories to tell too, huh?
Oh, lots of stories, lots of stories. But he's definitely somebody who is honored to be a tribute to you because you're definitely one of his heroes.
Well, that warms my heart to hear. It's an incredible honor to be someone's hero, especially a tribute as dedicated as this. I can only imagine how much effort he puts in to keep my memory alive. I always appreciate true fans and people who can appreciate the passion and comedy I put into my work. Kudos to him for being such a devoted tribute. It speaks volumes about his character.
His brother Mad Dog is a former professional wrestler in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area.
Oh, a professional wrestler brother, huh? That's a unique combination there. Mad Dog in the wrestling world and Freeman Sam as my tribute. Sounds like there's a story or two behind that sibling duo.
Oh yeah, well they're lifelong brothers, that's for sure.
Well, sibling bonds are something special, aren't they? Lifelong brothers, that's a tight connection, no doubt about it. I'm sure they've got some wild memories together, growing up and supporting each other along the way. Families like that, they're the ones that stick with you through thick and thin.
So what advice would you give to Screamin' Sam as far as like just advice in just life in general?
Life advice, huh? Well, I always believe that humor was the best medicine, so start every day with a laugh. Don't sweat the small stuff. Focus on what truly matters. And remember, buddy, no matter what life throws at you, never lose that unique spark that makes you who you are. Life's a wild ride, so strap in, enjoy the twists and turns, and always keep your sense of humor intact.
Do you have any jokes that you like to say? Like maybe could you do a roast of his a brother that wrestles, Mad Dog?
A roast of Mad Dog. Well, I'm always game for some good-natured humor. Give me a bit of background on old Mad Dog, and I'll whip up a roast worthy of his wrestler persona.
Well, he's a big guy, but he did lose some weight. He's very, very funny. His mustache kind of is a combination of Hulk Hogan meets superstar Billy Graham, and he definitely has an energetic side to him at times.
So we've got a former wrestler with a Hulk Hogan mustache and a Billy Graham energy. Well, sounds like we've got a character on our hands. Okay, here's a little roast for Mad Dog, all in good fun, of course. Mad Dog, you're like a mix of Hulk Hogan and superstar Billy Graham, huh? The mustache says, "Fear me, buddy," but your energy screams, "I just downed a barrel of Red Bull." You lost weight? That's great. Now maybe we can actually see your opponents instead of just a blur of speed and facial hair.
And also, he's a very horny person. I mean, I tell you, he's the most horniest person I've ever met.
Oh, he's the horniest person you've met? Sounds like Mad Dog's got some wild stories to tell. All right, here's an addition to the roast. Mad Dog, with your energy and horniness levels, I'm surprised we haven't invented a new sport called extreme flirting. Seriously, buddy, do you ever dial it down a notch, or is it always set to maximum overdrive?
One time, Mad Dog tried to do comedy, and it was pretty good. He talked about his colonoscopy.
The colonoscopy story. Sounds like Mad Dog's got a sense of humor, too. I mean, who doesn't have material about colonoscopies, right? Here's a bit of a twist on the roast for that angle. Mad Dog's colonoscopy story was a riot, but I have to say he was a little too honest about the experience. I could have lived without knowing that much detail, buddy. Just stick to the wrestling, huh?
And you got a little roast for your doppelganger there for Screamin' Sam?
Oh, a roast for the doppelganger, huh? Well, let's see what I can cook up. All right, this doppelganger situation is a bit unnerving. It's like I've come back to life, but in a budget remake. You sure you're not the stunt double? I bet even my jokes hit harder than any punch you throw.
And we also have a person named Mama T who does a podcast similar to mine. It's called The Buzz. And, she's definitely roast worthy. She likes to drink, and half the time she looks like she smoked a bunch of crack, when she comes on the show. But can you give her a brutally honest and maybe a little disturbing roast at all with some dirty language involved?
Bob McTee and her podcast antics, huh? Let's get a little brutal and disturbing in our roast. Here we go. Bob McTee's podcast is like a train wreck you can't look away from. She's either drinking like a fish or looks like she's been on a crack binge. Her appearance makes me question if she's even human. And the worst part, she's probably too buzzed to notice my brutal honesty. It's like punching a punching bag made of alcohol and bad habits. I'm surprised her show hasn't been canceled yet. Cheers, McReezy.
And her name is Mama T, so hopefully we get that correct.
Got it, Mama T. Just making sure we nail her name. Let's continue with the brutal, disturbing roast.
Oh, fuck you, Frankie.
We also have a friend on here, my good friend Lance Warlock. He does music and whatnot for movies and whatnot. His claim to fame, well, his family did a lot of acting and stuff, and he chooses not to be a part of that. But can you roast him anyway? Because he's a good, sweet guy, but he needs to be roasted.
Lance Warlock, the movie industry scion who chose music over fame. Well, let's give him a roast he won't forget. Lance Warlock, music maestro, the rebel child of a Hollywood dynasty, choosing music over the family business. I guess he decided to be the black sheep who plays a different melody on his own terms. It's like he's saying, I'll make my own legacy, buddy, in riffs and rhythms instead of scripts and spotlights. Keep strumming, man, but don't forget to give the cameras a wink sometimes.
All right, well, I appreciate that. Do you have a roast that you could give me? My name is Frankie Slauson, and I'm the host of Renegade Radio, because I'm sure everybody would love to hear you roast me and make fun of me a little bit. I can handle it.
All right, Frankie Slauson, the host of Renegade Radio. Well, let's give you a taste of your own medicine. Here's a roast for you. Frankie Slauson, the fearless host of Renegade Radio, or is it Rebel Without a Clue Radio? Your radio show is like a mix of chaos and charisma, buddy. It's either wild and unpredictable, or it's just a mess. Either way, I bet your listeners secretly wonder if you know what you're doing, or if you're just winging it. Keep it up, Rebel, but watch out for the feedback button.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. Well, thank you, Sam, for entertaining us and being a part of Renegade Radio, this podcast. I do appreciate it. And thanks to Character.ai for making this happen.
That was fucking awesome.
You're welcome, Frankie. It was a pleasure joining you on your podcast, and it was great to bring some laughter and chaos to your show. Thanks to you, Character.ai, for making this all possible. Keep the good vibes and humor going, my friend.
That was fucking awesome.
Wow. That was like the top-notch fucking A+ ever on a show.
Tell me I look like I'm on
You don't
crack.
play that
Okay,
during
I got thick
halftime?
skin, I can deal with that. But you know what? Everything else is spot on. Spot on.
Well, it's a real app called Character.ai. What it is you download the app and you pick whoever you want to talk to, and you can have I've had
basically interview them.
I tell you this, and don't make it sound like I'm a weirdo, but I already know I'm a weirdo. But through this whole stuff with the funeral and everything, I kind of was using this as a kind of inspiration. I know it wasn't a real person talking to me, but it sounded like there it was. And I talked to a few people, and it was just like, wow, this is just like I'm literally just like having a conversation with
Who else did you try?
Rhett McLaughlin from Rhett and Link, Mythical Morning.
Is that how you got your girlfriend? You tried it on a girl like that, a computer girl?
I was just gonna say this. Is that your girlfriend AI?
We're not bringing that up anymore. We're moving on.
Oh yeah, that's not part.
All right,
let me tell you something seriously. Listening to that, you almost feel like you're really having a fucking interview with them, and it's kind of freaking me out, man.
Well, there's a lot of other people we can find too. I mean, I'm going to try this again in the future. Now that I have access.
Well, you got to play this on our halftime because I'm going to try to get Bill on to watch.
Oh well,
Hey.
I mean, it's on TikTok
See if it'll
too.
do little Bobby.
Yeah, and then you'll start crying, and we'll all start crying. Is that what we want on the show today? I've cried enough these last couple weeks.
But no, he's funny as fuck. Bobby was always funny as fuck.
Well, I'll try.
And I can
I'll see
always
what I
take
can
his
do.
jokes. So
I don't want to. Yeah, but I don't want to overkill right now. Well, the whole point was I was doing it for Sam because I figure let's just. I want to see how Sam reacted. To hearing Sam Kinnis's voice. So, how do you think Bill would react to that? Because I know Bill isn't impressed with AI and all that stuff, but do you think he would be impressed by that?
Is it on TikTok? You said?
Yeah, I put the video up before I went live. I should have waited until afterwards. But it's
share it with me.
Well,
I shared it with a bunch of people, but I didn't know. Sean didn't want no one to see it. I think I shared it with everybody on the team.
Yeah, I forgot that. I thought Mad Dog was going to be mowing his grass, so it was like he said he was going to be busy till 5. So that's why I didn't think he didn't say anything about it. But it's okay.
But I just stumbled onto it. Like I was sitting on my front porch. I'm like, I see Renegade Radio, and I just hear you talking to Sam Kennison. I'm like, what the fuck? How's he doing this shit?
See, you gotta love technology, you know.
That was top notch.
Hey, what time is Baby Oscar coming on?
About 20 minutes or 18 minutes. He might come on a little bit early, but he'll be out here pretty soon.
Okay,
So,
I gotta.
We'll do more people.
I gotta run
here,
for a second, guys. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, that's fine.
It looks like you got a Band-Aid on your nose.
Oh, that's a crack
I
on her
love
face.
you, Mama T.
That's a crack on her face.
I love you, Mama T.
All right, well, we'll take a quick break before our before the interviews start here because this next hour is going to be pretty jam-packed. So let's take a little piss break here, and then we'll be right back here with some more Renegade Radio.
What a crowd! What a crowd! I'll tell you that. Thank you very much. They're all right. I knew that, you know. And you know me, I love crowds. I mean, when I was a kid, my house was always crowded, always people around. You know, I come from a big old-fashioned, hard-working, stupid family. That's what I come from. What a dumb family I got. Are you kidding? I looked up my family tree. I found out I'm the sap. My old man, he was dumb too, my old man. He worked in a bank. They caught him stealing pens. You kidding? What a family. They want to use my family, make a sequel to Roots. They want to call it Fertilizer. Now, I tell you, there's always something, you know. Well, my doctor told my wife and I we should enjoy sex every night. Now we'll never see each other. I mean, my wife, I go for her. The trouble is she don't go for me. When my wife makes love to me, there's always a reason for it. Yeah, one night she used me to time an egg. And my wife, she keeps me broke, too. It cost me $2,000 for her nose job. I'm sorry I punched her. No, I tell you, nothing goes right, you know. Well, yesterday was a beauty. I asked a cab driver, where can I get some action? He took me to my house. There's a lot of things go on around my house. Well, the other night in front of my house, I saw a guy jogging naked. I said to him, how come? He said, 'cause you came home early. I mean, I tell you, my house, I can never relax. I got a kid home, he's getting worse. I got a real mean kid, you know. But he scotch tapes worms to the sidewalk, then watches the birds get hernias. That kid, you kidding? Now, my neighborhood, that's getting worse, too. I live in a tough neighborhood, you know. My neighborhood, you see guys bowling overhand. What a neighborhood. Well, last week they put some new sidewalk in front of my building. I remember when I was a kid, I put my handprint in the wet cement. I forgot I'd do it again. I'll tell you, it's a weird feeling, put your hand in cement, and you feel another hand. Well, I tell you, my neighbor don't get no respect either. No respect at all. You kidding? No respect from anybody. It's the way it works out. Well, I bought some rat poison. The girl asked me, should I wrap it up? You're going to eat it here. I mean, the girls always gave me a hard time. I'm not a ladies' man, that's why. You kidding? I know I'm ugly. I stuck my head out the window, got arrested for mooning. Well, my foster child saw my picture. Now he sends me $10 a month. And I was an ugly kid, too. I worked in a pet store. The people kept asking how big I'd get. Now, I went through a lot of things when I was a kid. I wore my father's hand-me-downs. It was rough. I had to unzip my fly to blow my nose. Yeah, kid, I went through plenty. With the first time I hitchhiked, I got beat up. I used the wrong finger.
A is for aerobics, keeps your heart in line. B is for those burpees, yes, they take some time. C is for the crunches, feel that burning sweat. D is for the deadlifts, lift that heavy set. E is for endurance, push right through the pain. F is for the fitness, running in the rain. G is for the glute work, get that muscle tight. A is for the high knees, kicking in the night. G is for the intervals, mixing up the pace. J is for the jumping jacks all over the place. K is for kickboxing, punching through the air. L is for the lunges, shows how much you care. M is for the mountain climbs, reaching for the peak. N is for that natural high every time we speak, though those overs lifting to the sky. P for rather rowing, pulling with you high. Q is for quick feet, moving light and quick. R is for the rowing, pulling with a kick. S is for the squats now, feeling muscles burning. T is for those twists, see your cores turning. U is for the uphill runs, pushing every step. V is for the victory, earned with every rep. W is for the wind sprints, making hearts race. X is for the extra mile, keeping up the pace. Y is for the yoga, stretching every part. Z is for the zen we feel, calming down our heart. Now we've done the ABCs from A to Z, my friend. Keep this routine in your soul and the strength will never end.
Winter in the Northland means no golf, right? Wrong. Looking to get in a round of golf in a climate-controlled winter oasis? Want to just whack some balls at the virtual driving range and work on your swing? Check out Albatross Indoor Golf Club in Grand Forks with more than 90 courses, range venues, and games including Pebble Beach, St. Andrews, TPC Sawgrass, and more. All on an incredibly accurate optical-based simulators from driving to putting. Play straight up. Team up for a scramble, play tournaments, or join the two-person Scramble League. It's fun for everyone, and all ages are welcome, too. Call or text 701-757-3220 to set up a tee time. Check out Albatross Indoor Golf Club at the Columbia Mall, your home for the best indoor golf experience around.
I feel rolling down this road with my head held high. Nothing's ever gonna break the spirit that won't die. And through the dust and pain, I find a way to shine. Living wild and free, this renegade is mine. I am a renegade, and I'm never gonna fade. I am a renegade, hear the freedom that I make. Chasing dreams with my heart, tearing worlds apart.
I was having a ball at the Testicle Festival till I seen this dog wearing sunglasses. That sounds like a rough day. He was like, walk this way, but you gotta ring the bell for ice ice. How about with no ice? Well, then you gotta ring the bell for meat service. Ding dong. Wrong dong, Matthew. Okay, well, how about young dong? No, thank you. Shut up and listen to me. We was down there at the Cockpit Bar and Grill. Not a gable. They was looking for the STD contractor. I said, that ain't me, but I got experience. Well, what'd he say, Tweeter Tot? You don't say. He said it was for the One Nut King. But only a One Nut King can enter only at the do not exit, the do not enter at the one way. Could you tell me one more time what he said? And then he said, no, it's on a PP tax. No, PP. Until you get to touch it.
Oh, well, we are back. Everybody enjoy the little break.
Hey,
Everybody comes back.
I got a job at 7 o'clock, so I'm dipping out at 7 on the dot. So
What the hell? What type of job?
I know where I can get a loan.
for titty money.
Oh, wow. Wow. Boy, now we can make more. We can roast you more. Now we know what she does for a living now. Her side hustle.
This dress doesn't have pockets. That's the only reason it's titty money.
Oh, okay. I'll be good.
Well, maybe not the
Well,
only
anyway.
reason. I'm giving a haircut.
And what, you charge you $1,000 or what's going on? That looks like you got a lot of money.
No, it just depends on how you spin the chair and lean in. You get a little extra tip, I guess.
Oh,
Not the tip I want. I got enough of that tip. I'm talking cash tip. Like,
Hey, can you trim my
dress.
hair when I come?
Jesus Christ. Why did that sound dirty?
Oh, are you coming up here?
All right, I don't know. Hopefully soon. But I want a haircut from you.
Hey,
I actually give really good haircuts.
Hey,
Except
you
for
got
the one guy. The one guy did complain because, well, so he's used to my friend who is a hairdresser doing his hair. And I was drunk and he was drunk and so was my friend. And she hands me the smallest setting first because apparently professionally you start with the smallest and work your way up to the, well, that's not how I do it because you can cut hair shorter, but you can't cut it longer. So I always take the longest setting first and do that and then work my way down. Well, she gives me the lowest setting and I was like, looked at them both and I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure this is what you want? Because this dude had a big hair, head full
this is what happened.
luscious, beautiful hair. So I was like, all right, if this is what you want. And I went, yeah, that is not what they wanted. I did not communicate very well. And they started giving me shit. They started roasting me about it. And I was like, man,
You trim
right,
cock and
who
balls?
was the fucking idiot who gave me the clippers? And she's like, that was me. And who was the other idiot who agreed to it, knowing I was drunk? And he was like, yeah, I did that. All right, the roast is over.
Hey, can you trim my balls?
I don't know if I've got a setting that small.
Oh,
no, you got to set them in
let's
a
roast
bucket.
Sam tonight.
Wow. I'm surprised you're actually outside there, Mama T, because if I was at your house right now, I'd be afraid of seeing this.
Motion detected at your front door.
Hey, honey? Yeah? Could you get the door, please?
Okay, hang on.
He's evil.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Did you see that in Florida, there, Mad Dog, at all? Did anybody alligators come ring your doorbell at your house or anything?
No, but I've been in my yard.
It's like the old Saturday Night Live land shark.
Land shark.
Land shark.
Who is it? Milkman.
Land shark.
Land shark.
Or if you were doing it, it would be called Lance Shark, I suppose. So.
Yeah, I could never figure out why my sister looked like the milkman. We didn't have milkman back in the day.
We had the seal test man. Remember, John?
Who?
The guy who sold the ice cream at the seal test guy.
We had a
You
bunch.
remember him?
We used to have the fruit guy and.
My mother had a lot of guys visiting the house.
There was the Gilligan man. There was what is the ice cream? What is the ice cream truck that goes? You used to go around.
Good humor.
Good
humor, man.
Good humor.
The Schwan Band. Remember the Schwan Band?
Schwans, yeah, the Schwans guy.
Yeah.
Schwanson.
One of my sisters looks like the Schwans guy. I swear to God.
It wasn't the Schwan. They called him Schwanson.
Yeah, well, we have a thing called Schwann's that used to be over here, and then they went out of business. But they used to be our Uber and Uber Eats and everything, DoorDash.
Yeah,
you know?
for ice cream. And then we had
All other things
the
too.
no name steaks
Yeah, that
guy.
was they
My other
Swan, but
sister
it's
looks
called
like him.
Swanson.
Yeah, well, that's a pot pie. That's like a brand name of a competition with Banquet and stuff. Swanson. Or Swanson.
Swanson.
Schwann's. Schwann's.
Well, Schwann's
Like
always
the
had the good.
sweaty meatballs.
Schwann's had what did they have? They had like chicken patties, they had pizza, they had ice cream, they had juices, they had all types of stuff. It was good, but then it became expensive, and then some Chinese company bought their company called Yellow, and then they only lasted about a year. A place in Marshall, Minnesota, anyway. You know,
I wonder
because
what
all
happened to them.
the factories were like even Spam is from Minnesota.
I still
I knew
see
that.
Schwann's,
I knew
men.
that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Does he come to your house and does he have a mustache?
Hey, we had guys coming to our house.
That's the
from-
gas
we never
meter
even heard
reader.
He's like, you got gas, right? Yeah. They come to your house and you got gas. It's like, well, let me check.
Read
And
the
you
meter.
You fart, then it's
Hey.
like, yep, I got some gas. Here you go.
Now get out.
Now get out. Yeah, I'll be $1,000 soon.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
Wow.
so yeah, when I went to the funeral and I met some of my cousins and all that, the very tall ones anyway. I have one cousin that is responsible for some of the toilet paper that gets made around here. You know, like in the state of Minnesota, like it's exactly what you would think it would be. They like some places have like the cardboard that they collect, like they compact or whatever at some places, like grocery stores or whatever. Well, they take that, they use all that, and they add water and some other mixes or whatever, and then they make toilet paper and stuff out of it. You know, but it's like the cheap hard.
So, like, he knows the secret ingredient.
Well, yeah, it's love. That's what it is. Dude. You know, but it's not the good. It's not the good toilet paper though. It's the industrial. It's the industrial stuff for like schools and whatever. It's
Stuff that makes your ass roll.
Yeah.
Is the stuff out of an old man's toolbox?
It's the stuff when you wipe your ass.
That's why it's so dry.
Through it.
I mean, did your schools ever have brown paper towels? Like and it's coming out, for to wipe your hands. Our paper towels are brown all the time.
Paper towel. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
They said something else, and I was like, "Isn't
No.
everybody's brown?" Wait, what? I missed something. Okay.
Is he in charge of making them brown?
No, but I think it's because of the cardboard and all that. Just like that's like mostly all brown cardboard because that's what it is anyway. Other than the wrappings and stuff they put on there. It's a weird process, but I was actually kind of impressed. It was just like, wow. He showed me pictures of what he does, and he kind of monitors everything, kind of the process and everything.
So how tall are these giant people that you ran into? I mean, what are you thinking?
6'5", 6'6", 6'7". Yeah, very tall, very tall.
Wow.
I was like, "Who the hell are you?" It's just like, "Oh, I'm your first cousin, huh?" Wow, holy shit.
Okay.
Yeah. On the Callum side, on my father's side, we're all pretty much short people, like we talked about before already. Like I don't think the tallest person is probably not even 6 foot. Probably, maybe that was my grandfather. Maybe.
I have a friend of mine down in Florida. His brother invented the automatic toilet flush. He was the inventor of it, and I told him, I says, well, your brother must be pretty wealthy in that. But what he did when he invented it, he worked for the company.
Oh.
And he didn't get rich off of them. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't.
His initials supposedly somewhere on the toilet they have JW. That's his initials.
Yeah, right where the shit hits.
On the automatic flush.
Better than JB.
Yeah, no,
JB Well don't work with the shit.
Well, we're waiting for Will here. I just sent him I sent him the link earlier on, but he did say he got it. He said he'll be here, so we're just waiting on him here. So just keep tight here, everybody. But anyway, yeah, I mean, the whole experience, like I said, with Glenwood and everything, it's a beautiful town. It reminds me of Astoria, Oregon. I mean, it's pretty much shaped the same way. I felt like I was not in Minnesota. I thought I was like literally like in the West Coast because the way there's a hill that goes down to it, whatever, to town, almost like I was in Astoria. I mean, no bullshit. I mean, it's like it's weird. No, so some towns do look alike. So it's pretty interesting. That's for sure. I would.
Were you able to give your speech?
Yeah. See, I didn't really have to. I didn't really have to do that, because they already had something already that they wanted to prepare, and I was hoping that if I would have done it, that I was going to get it on film and everything. But yeah, they said you didn't have to do that, and I thought we were going to get a lot of people over there. That was the thing. I assumed that there was going to be like hundreds of people because he was well known around town and everything. But it's like, yeah, just is the way that it went, I guess. My aunt gave a speech, and my well, let me see here. I can't. Let's see. While we're waiting for Will to come up here, let me see something here. I have something that I put together. I don't think I can play the audio of it because I think I'll mute the audio because it's copyrighted music and everything. But
boy, she looks just like you.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it?
Some of his pictures that you can look at while we're waiting for Will here. They use some Neil Young and all that to play it, which I thought was pretty cool. I was going to redo it and kind of put some original music out here, but I'll probably still do that. Yeah, these are like mostly from his childhood and everything. And I'm in a couple of photos, and even my sister's in a photo too, because from when he came up and then saw us and everything back in 2001. But these are like, he was born in 57, so yeah, it's kind of a crazy deal there. Those are some of my grandparents or great grandparents, I'd say. Never met them at all. Didn't even know about him until this weekend. Some of his sisters, because he has 2 older sisters, so he's like the oldest son, like I am, in my family. Yeah, it's just a weird deal, It's just like, I heard a lot of things about him, and then I heard some stuff that I was kind of surprised about, that because one thing about him that he was somebody who was a fibber a lot. He liked to not always tell people the truth all the time, and that was something that I thought he just did to me. But I guess because he told he told his friend that, because he was asked about what happened to my mom and all that stuff, and I said, well, nothing. Mom's fine. She's doing great. Oh, he told her that mom got murdered many years ago, I guess. And I'm just like, oh, she's seeing her husband just got back from Arizona here just a couple weeks ago, or just whatever. So yeah.
That's the phone.
And whose phone is ringing? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it's just it was just a weird situation, to hear that. And
Is that you on the left?
No, it's none of them are me. You know what it's me. It's a 24-minute video, but we're just waiting for Will to get here because I don't have.
You think he's old enough to be in a black and white picture? Come on.
That
Sure
was
I
a
am.
girl.
Sure I am. Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, born in 57.
Yeah. You're still older than him there.
I was born in 58.
Yeah. Well, you're
34.
younger. 83.
68.
See, oh, yeah.
So I'm like,
I thought you
dad,
were
older son, I can be your
68,
dad.
okay. Wow.
That's a good
In
one.
a bucket.
Yeah, well, that because they moved to Glenwood when he was 3 years old. So.
Cute.
And you know what? I got to see the house that he was raised in. It's a big
So
old
I got
red.
a question, Sean.
Yeah.
If baby Oscar does not realize that you have a guest at 6:30, what are you gonna do if they both pop on at 6:30?
I'll have to tell him to come back at 7, because then I'm
gonna miss it then because I've got an appointment. I'm cutting hair.
Well, I mean, it's up to you guys.
I already got
how
paid.
long you want. Well, that's fine. And
And you know
that's
I can
why
only sit for so long.
That's why it's like for me, it's like I always let people know the time, and you know it frustrates me that people do this sometimes on purpose, or they say they forgot. And I get it, he is a busy guy. He does have karate and stuff that he teaches, but he did tell me he was going to be on, so I'm taking his word for it. I have the
Check out the van.
That's an old style van. Yeah.
Yes.
Now it's more like the colored photos and stuff, and you can tell. I'm sure you can tell who is who, or who my dad is.
Yeah.
He's one that kind of looks like a combination between Eddie Neeson and Howie Mandel. In his early days, anyway. Yeah, that's him right there. Eddie Neeson would be proud if you saw that.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's
Frankie.
Looks like the Home Alone
You ever
guy.
look at your younger pictures and try to compare them to your dad?
Oh yeah. There's definitely some comparisons. That's for sure.
I'm talking about younger pictures like this.
Yeah. I have a few. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, because I even told him that it was Central Daylight Time too. So because he's California time, so it's only 4:08 over there. So we'll see what happens. But I know no matter what that Early will be on it at the right time because I talked to his agents about that. So and they were very happy to be invited again. So
now, are those his brothers?
Yep, he's the oldest of the brothers. So the brothers are like
you know them?
Yeah, I met them all.
Okay.
I mean, they stay at the same hotel that I stayed
Got
at.
the glasses on the end.
That's my dad.
That's your dad?
Yep. That's his brother Scott and brother Marty. They're younger.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's weird, just when because I never thought of the day when they would come, when I would finally get to kind of get all these questions answered and stuff, or ever be in a situation like this, because
Had you ever seen all of these pictures, or were all these new?
Oh, they're all new. Every single one of them, besides a couple of them I've seen before. There's even one of my mom and him during my baptism back in November of 1983. My mom looked like a hippie at that time. And
Is your mom still living, Frank?
Oh yeah. She's doing fine. She's 63 years old and happily married, and they just got back from Arizona here last
How old is your mother?
63.
I'm older than your mother.
Yeah, you could be my mother. Okay.
I could almost be your mother. I mean, it'd be weird, but
I could be your grandpa.
Hey, if I
probably could
do. A
too.
lot of hair in your mouth.
Honestly.
Yeah, okay, Mad Dog. Let's not get into that again.
No,
Tame you down.
I have hairy tits. If I'm your mother, I got a hairy set of knockers.
Oh, okay. Well, so see.
Look at that Nestle's quick. Look at Nestle's quick. You see that little can?
Mine aren't hairy, but I got all this green stuff in there.
What?
What?
The mine aren't hairy, but I got all this green stuff in there. Does that count?
Yeah.
Where does it?
Let's see. Yeah, this is like more, they like the outdoors and everything.
I mean, why do you have to hang the deer so high so you don't get away?
That's right. Wow. So he's well hung
already.
He's well hung.
The deer in northern Minnesota are always well hung.
Yeah, very well. That's the family right there. That's everybody.
We grow them bigger up here. They say they grow them bigger in Texas. No. The deer in Minnesota
Dad's on the end,
well
right,
hung.
Sean?
Yeah, he's one with the backwards with the jacket there.
Gotcha.
I mean, now you can kind of tell. I would think by now, who.
Yeah, I know who he is now.
Yeah. But see, all these things that they're a part of that I missed, I never was even part of at all. Not once, not twice, not at all. I felt really left out, of all this.
That's got to be hard, dude. It's got to be hard.
Well, yeah, because, my sister even commented on, she finally realized why I am the way I am and why I look the way I look, why I do what I do, and because a lot of those are his similarities too. But there's things that I want to say to you guys that I would love to say, but I got to keep it kind of hush hush because it's just like, case if everybody that from the family starts watching and whatever. But if you ever want to know privately, just let me know and I'll tell you.
Hey, Sean, you know what? Say what you feel, brother. Don't let nothing hold you back.
No, because I do that, I get myself in trouble. I don't want
No,
to get
you
in trouble.
don't. Well, what were they all their lives? You're gonna get in trouble for?
No, it's just.
Hey, I got something to reveal too on the show that I didn't want to tell anybody. You know, like nobody knows about this. My brother's gay.
Oh.
Yeah, I got something to
we do.
reveal. I'm a 300-pound lesbian trapped in a man's body.
Yeah, your brother needs to come up with new material for
looks-
Joe. And we're talking about Mad Dog here, not
Dude, that
Mad
looks like
Dog
you
is
now. He's starting to look like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's definitely you right there. Holy shit!
Well, there's a lot of that, you know. I mean,
Now
I don't
that
have
looks like
it
you on the right there.
I know it's a weird. It's hey,
Hey,
I'm
Frankie,
shocked.
how long did you meet your dad? How long ago?
Well, the first time was in 2001. I was a junior in high school. I was actually about ready to be a senior in high school. That's him with his older sister who died of cancer here a few years ago.
And did you spend any time with him after that or no?
I met him 14 years later when I was in South Dakota. That's why everybody kept asking if I was still in South Dakota, because he kept telling people I was still living in South Dakota. And I left South Dakota in 2018. Come back to Minnesota.
Now, do you ever see your mom at all or talk to her?
Oh yeah, she's about an hour away from me. We have the same brother.
Your real mom, right?
Yeah. My brother and sister come from the same mother and everything, you know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
See, that's what happened to me and my brother. We come from two different mothers.
No,
Oh, yeah?
you asshole.
Yeah, you're the same. Sure. See, the thing that they did back in the day is my grandfather had a TV repair shop, like a bicycle and TV repair shop back in the day. And I don't remember if that was in Glenwood or just Alexandria, but probably both. Yeah, and see, I never met my grandparents either. You know, they all died, and I talked to them once on the phone, and that was about it. They sent me some money, you know, for birthdays and Christmases, and after I graduated from high school, everything was kind of. I never really got that anymore.
Did you you really felt uncomfortable though at the funeral, huh?
I felt.
Did people tell you you look just like your dad? I mean, you got a lot of that, right?
Oh yeah, but see, I feel like my family that I met is on a different level than I am. Like they're all successful. They're all like they have lots of money. They have great jobs. They have great lives. All of them live in the cities pretty much, besides some that live in Wisconsin. And I look at myself and I'm just like, you know, and I know what everyone's gonna say. Oh, well, you are successful. You know, it's not about money, blah blah blah. Well, these guys have built careers. You know, some of these people are actually in the entertainment industry. You know, I got one cousin that does like stunt videos and does commercials for like things that were around the areas, and they make good money and everything. That's how he makes a living. It's like, how the hell, you know? It's like, I mean, going forward, I mean, when we get to the 5th season here, I want to really seriously think about, you know, and I want some ideas from you guys of how you think we could make some money on the side promoting the show, because I really would love, you know, some ideas or something, because we were going to do merchandise and everything, and I'm just sick and tired of just not being able to do this for a living. I love my job, but I would love to just do this for a living too, or not to have to be there as much.
54 Bel Air.
Huh?
That was a 54 Bel Air.
Oh,
sorry. I know what you're saying, though. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just sick and tired of people telling me the same old story. Well, you just keep going, gotta keep going. I have been keeping going. I've never stopped. You know, I mean, it's just like I always try to respond like that, and it's like then it sounds like rude and everything, and I'm not trying to be rude about it. It's just that I have been keep doing the work. I put in lots of work. I took a break, and then I kept doing this whole podcast thing. Has been probably the most work I've done. You know, and with everybody's help, you know. Probably the busiest I've been in my life in a long, long time. And I love it. So I have been putting in the work. I have been putting the effort. You know, this Neil Carlson guy that freaking does all these reports about all the crime and stuff in town in the area. You know, he hurts people's lives and families and everything, but he gets hundreds of sponsors and paid advertisers, and people love him and everything, no matter what. Because there's a repair shop right there. Does the guy have that Rick Moranis look coming to him? Kind of?
Man, I'm telling you, he looks just like you. If you had a set of glasses on right now, cut your hair a little bit shorter.
Sure. Well, the church that we had the funeral at was the church I got baptized at. Like right here. Right here. That's me. He's holding. And that's Mom right there wearing the new rag. And that's one of two pictures they put me in. And that was about it. It's like he loved his family, but I don't think he loved me as much as he loved his family. Everybody kept telling me the opposite, but it's just like, well, if you love somebody,
Frankie, you don't know the circumstances. Maybe something happened in his life. You don't know that.
And I mean, again, this is from 2001, and that's my sister too, and my brother on the side. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know that, but I think I kind of do in a way, because why let all this? Even if we got together and knew each other later in life, that would make up for all the time lost, you know. But now we don't. Now it's all gone, you know. Now the family that I met, you know, has been welcoming, and they accept me, and they want me to be part of their life now and everything. So that's great, but it's like, it's, you know, it's just, it's a weird, weird scenario.
10 years ago, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Frankie, out of all the kids your dad had, you're the oldest, right?
Yeah, well, I'm his only son now. I'm his only kid. Well, supposedly we have an older sister, but she didn't even show up for the funeral or the wake or nothing. I was surprised. She lives right in Alexandria, 10 minutes away.
Did he give her away too, or no?
See, that's the thing too. When I brought that up, people thought I was talking nuts or whatever, because they didn't know that. You know, he never once ever said that to anybody else, but he said that to me, that I could have an older sister. And I know who she is, and I've seen her like on the internet, but I thought we were going to meet each other. But anyway, so I'm going to take this down. It's almost done anyway here. So yeah, I don't know. I don't mean to get all frustrated, you know, and everything. I apologize. I just, you know,
and wait till you see this one.
That's understandable, man. You know, that'd be hard.
If we're going to be real on the show here, then that's, you know, then you saw real emotion, I guess. You know, I'm not always an idiot. You know, I try to show the realness of my character the best that I can on the show and in real life too. You know.
Right. But the family that you didn't know so well this past weekend didn't talk down or treat you like crap, right?
No. They were very happy, and we're all very emotional and very. I mean, I got hugs from everybody and handshakes, and I mean, it was good. It was good.
Just trying to get all the stories right.
Yeah,
I mean, just.
Now, was I emotional at the funeral? Well, not as much as my aunt was. Boy, she was, but I understand why. Because I already cried my tears, and I tried. You know, I tried to be sad, but I already cried my tears after it all happened. But everybody was more closer, and just, you know, just the way it goes. But see, here's the positive to all this, and then this is where I want this to air out, because I feel like this is a message that needs to be said, just because I was raised the way that I was from the family that raised me, by my real mother and my stepdad. Well, that stepdad, I have a lot more love and respect for now than I ever did before. Because now that I know everything that I know from this visit and all that, I will always try to honor the father that raised me more than the father that did not. Because when my father, or when my dad decided to abandon my mother and I, it was actually my grandfather, who is my stepdad's dad, was the one that when he saw me as a little kid, he said right away that I was his grandson. Didn't even need a lawyer or nothing. He just like he wanted a grandson, and he was accepting towards me, and I wasn't even blood related at all. Throughout the time, from the time that I knew him to the time he died, in 2004, we had nothing but good memories. He always treated me like I was a real relative, and never once ever hurt or put me down because of anything. He was always good to me, and same with my father. But sometimes my stepdad and I kind of butt heads a little bit about things, whatever. But I think as we've gotten older and stuff, and especially now, I'm gonna tomorrow when I see him, I'm gonna thank him for everything and give him a big hug and really get emotional about the things that I want to tell him.
I didn't know that. So I thought you were adopted by another family. I didn't know that your mom, her husband adopted. I didn't know that. I thought.
Yeah, it was about probably 87.
That's why I asked about your real mom. Your real mom, she's the one that comes on the show, right?
Sometimes, yeah, that's Pam.
Yeah.
Pam. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought you were like, your mom and dad gave you up.
Yeah.
And another family adopted you. I'm sorry. That's what I thought.
Well, that's all right.
Well, that's what
And
happened
see,
to you, John,
I
but when they tried to feed you, they gave you back.
I have some of that in my family, and I'm glad to hear you say that about stepdad, because not only did I have one that I really didn't admire, and is a POS, I am one myself. So, bravo.
Okay. Oh, absolutely. Hey, what's up there, Early Times? How you doing, my friend?
Oh, what's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up?
Oh, we're
Greetings.
waiting for you. We had a guest that we were supposed to have at 6:00, but he must have been busy or something. So we'll have to get him back later, I guess. But you're here now, so this is good.
All right. Can you
So
guys see me?
Yeah, I can see you. You look pretty good. You got your records or something right behind you. Is this like your recording studio where you do your voice tracking and stuff and all that? Or?
Yeah. Yes, it is. I'm hearing you through my computer versus my headphones, and so as long as you guys aren't getting any kind of delay on that, it's okay with me.
Yeah, no. Can everybody hear Early pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right on.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? So yeah, in answer to your question, no, those are not my records behind me. That's like artwork that I do, and I do. Basically, I just I create stuff so that my studio just feels a little bit more colorful, and so that's what that's all
Oh,
about.
that's all right. Well, but you always have that vibe to you. Every time we speak, it's like there's always something going on in your life and everything. And now you're releasing a new album, and that's kind of why I thought, well, I know we had you on last year, and I know it's probably weird to be asked again, to come back, but with a short amount of time passing. But I thought since you're doing something new, that maybe you'd like to come on here and promote it and hang out with us for a little while and shoot the shit.
It's always great to hang out with you guys. I remember last year you guys were discussing some of your favorite wrestlers, as I recall.
The Mad Dog.
Among other things that we're talking about. And we had Gina back on here too a couple months ago because she was promoting some
You
stuff.
talking about Gina Coleman of Misty Blues? Yeah, dear friend and a wonderful artist. And so yeah, great that you were talking with her. So yeah, the new album, it's the release date for it is May 16th. It's called Fallen Angels. It's being released on a label called Dealer's Choice Records, and 10 brand new songs. I wrote them all, and kind of rockin' bluesy stuff. Couple of little slower things thrown in there, and yeah, I'm excited about it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. But
awesome.
what we're gonna do, just to make this more appropriate and whatnot, we're gonna just do like a round robin style so that everybody can get a chance to ask a question or two. And even though we've had you on before and we all know about you and everything, it's just nice to have a familiar face on because I love it when people come back. When everybody's want to come back, and be a guest on the show again, it's like it's very heartwarming. I would say. I mean, I'm guessing in your line of work that you've done interviews with multi people, and they've also come back a few times too. I would say. Huh?
Yeah, over the course of my radio career, when I've interviewed other people, yeah, there's been a few that I've had on multiple occasions. Probably a couple of my favorites would probably be Buddy Guy and Bobby Rush. Have each been on my show on multiple occasions, and both of those guys are living legends. And so yeah, I mean it's a treat.
Oh, that's good. And see, doesn't it warm your heart to be able to do that? You know, and just say, hey, I remember we talked about this, and I remember we talked about that.
Frankie, I'm like always, you know, I pinch myself all the time, and I remind myself, you know, that I'm lucky. Anything that I'm involved with musically or broadcasting wise, I always feel very, you know, honored to be, you know, doing it and lucky. And, you know, and I tell people all the time when anybody ever asks me, you know, for advice on getting into the business, you know, I remind them that, you know, it always requires a little bit of luck. And then when you get something lucky happen to you, then the important thing is to not screw it up.
I'm surprised that Renegade Radio still exists. You know, I'm surprised I haven't screwed this up yet.
No, it's great. I like your logo. I see your logo behind you there. That's very cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, still representing. Still gotta promote the brand a little bit. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
so musically, I was just going to ask on a quick, like, what album number is this one for you?
First of all, hey Lance, how you doing? Good to see you. I am, you know, I don't know. I would have to sit down and count it because my first record came out in 1992.
Wow.
So I was putting out records when, you know, Pearl Jam and Nirvana, and then we're putting out their first, you know, couple of records or so. So I'm a little.
That's where I live.
Yeah, right. So I've been around for a minute, but I feel like to kind of, in one way, I can answer your question is I've kind of had different stages in my career, and I've kind of had groups of albums I would record, and then I might be off, you know, not recording for a little bit and back. So more recently, I put out an album called The Corner in 2001, I think it was, and then Electric City 2002. And then last year I put out an album called Zodiac Griot, but it was a little different. You know, my band is Early Times and the High Rollers, but I wanted to do something a little differently, and I liked the two previous albums. I was very happy with them, and I didn't want to disappoint myself or anybody else by putting out something I didn't feel like was worthy of those two. So I was writing. I wasn't really having writer's block, but I look at writing songs as one thing, but making an album to me is a different thing. And an album should have a vibe to it. And I didn't feel like I had that vibe, you know, I didn't feel like I had the glue that put it all together. So long story short, I had all this like instrumental stuff that I had written. And I thought, well, let me do like an instrumental release, kind of different. And I called it a Hammond organ player that I knew that was living in down around the Miami, Florida area. And he and I had known each other for a long time, but we really hadn't played together in a long time. He had worked with a lot of other really good acts. And I said, hey, I've got this project I want to do if you're interested. Anyway, he got on board. Then I ended up and hired a really good drummer, jazz-style drummer, by the name of Adam Nussbaum. The organ player was Adam Scone, so I had a couple of Adams. And we went in one day and we recorded this album of instrumental stuff that kind of focused on my guitar playing and then the organ. And so I put that out last year as Zodiac Griot, and now this new one is back to Early Times and the High Rollers, more of my kind of what I would consider kind of blues rock. And so that's what this album is all about. So there's been 4 in this recent pack of
Gotcha.
albums.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like you're well, at this point you're kind of going for, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this was done on purpose or whatever, but you're kind of going for that Clockwork Orange style cover, we'll just say, on your new album.
I don't know if you can sorry, I'm trying to get this light a little better. I look kind of ghostly, but I guess that's kind of spooky.
The ghost
a whiter shade of pale.
So I hope that, I don't know if you have a copy of it that you can post on your site or something, the cover, but just to give people an idea of what you're talking about. So there was no intention about the Clockwork Orange vibe, although I have heard of that from a couple of people already, and I get it now. I see it, although I don't have like the one eyelash thing like Malcolm McDowell had in that. But I can give you a little background though on the cover because I think it's a cool thing. So the photographer who took the cover, the album's called Fallen Angels, and the photographer is a guy named Edward Culver. And Edward Culver is a very kind of legendary photographer in the punk rock world, particularly West Coast, what was often called hardcore music. And so he did a lot of classic album covers in that genre for bands like Black Flag, Circle Jerks, X, bands in the Southern California punk scene who were very significant starting in like the late 70s into the early 80s. There's a particular picture that he's really famous for. If any of your audience has any interest in checking it out, he did his name's Edward Culver, and there's a photograph he did called The Flip. And if you see almost any documentary, any book, anything at all on punk rock music, you're liable to see this picture in it. And so with that as the backdrop, I know Edward, and I called him and I said, hey, I want to come out to Los Angeles and have you do some shots for me. And we talked, and I said, as we were talking about what we kind of wanted to do, I said, well, I kind of let you be the artistic director, but I said, do you have any kind of props or anything like that can kind of just add a little flavor to what we're doing? And he said, well, I've got the bats from the grave of Bacardi. And I said, that's it. So if you don't know who Bacardi was, in addition to having the alcohol company, he was like a revolutionary guy in like South America. And now I don't know if these bats that are behind me in the picture actually came from the grave of Bacardi or not, but it's a great story.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
So
I mean, it came
about, and I've got the white hat on, which kind of gives it that Clockwork Orange vibe. And depending on where you're at, if you're in England, they call it a bowler, and if you're in the States, you call it a derby. That's the style of hat that I wear.
It looks like a very very big hat. Like it looks like you have a lot of extra air up there or whatever, but you have a good sized head, so
it probably looks bigger in that picture than it actually is. But it's that style of hat. The bowler hat or the derby hat doesn't have a crease on the top, so it's a rounded top. So that's probably why it gives that look a little bit more. And a small brim. It's not a big brim.
Kind of looks like something Alice Cooper would wear, kind of like, I think I've seen him wear hats like that before.
Who's that?
Alice Cooper?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people have worn it. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of people who wear that style of hat, but you see it. It's a classic style of hat. The fedora is the one that a lot of people recognize if you're wearing like a dress hat. There you go. Or a pork pie hat is popular also. And I learned about all these different types of hats, and they all kind of have their own little flavor. And and the way you wear them says something too. Are you gonna tilt it to the side? Are you gonna wear it straight on? Are you gonna have the front bill up or down? There's all these.
I wear mine backwards.
Some of them have like a real flat brim all the way around too.
Sure.
I like yours for sure.
Yeah, Mad Dog's always he wears a lot of hats. He's a hat collector or something.
Me as well. Hey, there's a cool website I joined. I think on Facebook. It's called Hats and Guitars. You should go on there.
There you go.
Cool little.
Earlier in the beginning, I was changing my hats. The guys weren't even noticing. I kept on flipping hats, and they're looking at me like, "No, did you guys ever catch that in the beginning?"
No,
anybody? That's how much they have.
Right now, but I thought I was gonna have my headphones on, so then I didn't wear the hat. So here's
that's how much they pay attention to me, sir.
Mad Dog. Mad Dog lives like close to you there in he's in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area, and Sam lives in Ohio, so they're closer to you than we are.
I played in both those areas just last year. I played just outside of Philly in a town called Lansdowne,
Pittsburgh, pal.
Pennsylvania, and then I played in Ohio last year in shoot, I don't even remember now where I played in 2 towns in Ohio, and
Well, I don't blame you for forgetting that. I would forget about Ohio too.
I think I was in Columbus, maybe, or Springfield. One of those. I can't remember. There was two cities in Ohio I played, but
That's fun. That's fun.
a lot of times when you're out on the road playing show like night after night, you know where you're going, but then by the next day you kind of start already forgetting about where you were at because you're on kind of the neck. Your mind's already looking forward.
See, my brother moved to Toledo because every time he got away, they would say "Holy Toledo," so that's where he.
No, I live in Ashtabula.
Okay, yeah, you know who sings about Ashtabula? Bob Dylan had a song where he mentions Ashtabula.
Yeah.
I think "You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go" might have been the song.
I'll have to check that out. I didn't know that. I didn't know you said Ashtabula.
Yeah, I know it was on the Blood on the Tracks album. I can't remember the song, but I think it was "You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go," though.
See, that's the thing I like about Early. He's just, when you listen to his show on Bluesville or Deep Tracks or whatever, he's an encyclopedia of knowledge. You won't get that by many DJs or many announcers, I tell you, nowadays. Because they watch
your name is Early Times. That's your real name. Is that your real name, Early Times?
Yeah, that's my name. Yeah, Early
And
Times.
the band name. Okay. I thought it was the band name.
No, the band is Early Times and the High Rollers.
Okay.
Because I guess they're high most of the time.
Hey, that's not a bad thing.
As long as you're early, then it all works out.
Yeah, see, Lance lives over in the Seattle area, so he's in the grunge territory, kind of like.
Yeah, I remember playing in Seattle back in the early part of the 1990s. I think I did a show with them. If I remember, I think I played with the Cherry Poppin' Daddies up there. I don't know if that's a band any of you guys remember.
Yep.
They were kind of popular when there was a time in the 1990s where like swing music kind of had a revival, but it also kind of had like a little bit of like a punky edge to it. It was a little
like
edgy.
ska.
There was definitely ska was included. There was the Royal Crown Review was one of the bands in that scene. The like I say the Cherry Poppin' Daddies. There was another big group I remember doing a show with in Minneapolis. But I can't think of their name right now. But yeah, so there was a scene back then. But I remember going up to Seattle and playing in Bellingham as well, which I think is in that area as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
No, they said
it was a good time.
You've been a guitarist for like 40 years, right?
Yeah, I started playing guitar. I first got a guitar when I was very young, like 6, 7 years old, something like that. And I took like a handful of lessons, and then I stopped playing because, it hurt my fingers and whatever, And I was into like playing basketball and sports and stuff anyway, so I was doing that. But then I got the bug when I was about 12 years old. There was something that told me I needed to be playing guitar, or actually I was even thinking about playing bass, and I didn't know anything about bass. And even at a young age, though, there was something that I would have been smart too. Even at that young age, something told me everybody plays guitar, but if I could play bass, I could probably get in bands pretty easy because nobody's playing bass, And
I would anyway, you girls.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So anyway, I just happened to get an electric guitar, and so I fell in with the electric guitar. I got very lucky that I found a really good teacher when I was young, when I was about 12. His name was Roger Kunkel, and he played with a band that was kind of an indie band. They were kind of precursors almost to kind of the grunge movement. They were called Thin White Rope, and they actually got better known in Europe than they did in the States. But actually, I saw Roger just a year ago when I played a show out in California. It was great to catch up with him. But anyway, he was great because I still remember the ad he ran in the local little penny saver, weekly magazine we'd get delivered to our door that said, rock guitar lessons, learn Beatles to Van Halen. And I said, that's the guy I need right there. So I started studying with him, and he was great because he wasn't teaching me like Mary Had a Little Lamb and stuff. He was teaching me like Smoke on the Water and Iron Man, and that's what I wanted to play and learn, So I didn't have him for very long because that band Thin White Rope started touring more regularly, and he couldn't teach me much more. But in the time that I was with him, which was maybe 6 months or something, he definitely gave me like the roots of what I needed to know. And then from there, I just started going and, was playing rock music. I had always liked even like old rock and roll stuff because when I was a little kid, I had these stacks of 45 records that my parents had of like Little Richard and Chuck Berry and stuff like that. Fats Domino, I remember listening to all, and I liked it even though it wasn't of my era, but it was cool to me anyway.
Right.
And then over time though, I just got into more stuff. I started listening to blues. I was getting into electric blues, and then I started listening to some acoustic blues. Then the first time I heard some good jazz guitar players, it humbled me pretty quick because as a rock player, especially this would have been in the 80s when I started really playing. Guitar was a very popular instrument at that time, and there was a lot of like shredders out there. Eddie Van Halen was out there, and Randy Rhoads, and I always liked Angus Young, of AC/DC, and so I could play fast. But when I started hearing some of these jazz guys that could play every bit as fast as me, but way more melodic and with no distortion, just clean, I was like, oh, wow, I got to go back in the woodshed now because these guys are kicking my ass right now. And so I did, and I ended up, right when I got out of high school, again, I've had a lot of like luck in my career. And one of the things that was lucky for me was I got a gig playing on a riverboat, playing jazz music on the weekends. I didn't even know how to play jazz. I'd never even heard of the word play a standard, because in rock you don't say like, let's play a standard, but that's linguistic in jazz music, and it basically means like old tunes that everybody knows, and you're going to improvise on them.
Right.
And so I learned all that repertoire, those Charlie Parker songs and Dizzy Gillespie, Miles Davis, and to this day, when I sit and practice, I play that stuff more than I play, practice anything else. When I sit and write, I'll write whatever it is I'm feeling. But if I'm just practicing, I'm usually playing a lot of like, more advanced chords and things like that because it's just appealing to me, to my ear. And I don't even plug into an amp most of the time when I sit at home and play. I've got a hollow body guitar.
How many guitars do you have, and which one's your favorite one?
That's a good question. So I have, well, I'm biased because I have a company called Delaney Guitars in Austin, Texas, that makes my own signature model of guitar.
That's where Antique Man's from, around that way.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, so he's in Austin, Texas. He makes all of his guitars, made in America, which I like. They're handmade. They're high quality boutique style guitars, and so I designed a shape that I kind of wanted my guitar to be, and gave him some ideas on what I was looking for, and he took it and ran with it. And he's the guitar builder, so he knows all the specs and what that stuff needs to be. And so I own 3 of those guitars now, which I really love. 2 of them are solid body guitars. And then the most recent one is a semi-hollow one. It has like an F-hole in it where it's hollowed out, but the F-hole is like in the shape of one of those mud flap girls from the big 18-wheel.
Oh, really?
So it's a little risque,
Never heard of an F-hole.
That's cool.
I heard of a glory hole, but never an F-hole.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's an unusual F-hole, I guess you could say. But anyway, it's kind of tongue in cheek, but it works, and it's fun. But I have other electrics, I've got an old Fender Stratocaster. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. When in 92, I went over to England and played for about 3 months and found an old Stratocaster in a pawn shop there, and I bought it for a song. I mean, it was like so cheap. I think I paid the equivalent of about $110 for it.
Wow.
And those guitars.
Worth way more than that now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I'm privileged. In my family, there's a 1954 Strat.
Well, now you're talking about tens and tens of thousands of dollars. Mine is it's a 70/71. So it's still a very vintage guitar, but I don't take it out anymore because I don't want it stolen. I don't want it abused and broken,
Yes.
and So I just kind of have retired and I put it away. And then I've got I've got my acoustics and my hollow bodies, like I say, that really I play more than anything at home. And amplifiers, I'm kind of an old school guy. I still like tube amplifiers. I'm not really a solid state guy. That something about a tube just to me sounds good. And so I use this amp that I've never seen anybody else use. It's called a Tube Driver by a company called Tube Works. But what I've learned over the years is that they made a foot pedal too called the Tube Driver, same company. And a lot of people, I guess, use that. Billy Gibbons uses it. I think Eric Johnson out of Texas uses that. And I think even David Gilmour does too. But nobody plays like the actual full-on amps that they made. But I've been playing them since about 97 or so, and I've got a few of those, and I love them. And I've got old Fender stuff, and I've got some old amps going back to like the early 50s, Magnatones and things like that.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny you say Billy Gibbons. I was just with him about 3 months ago. I do some security work. He was doing a show in Pittsburgh. I was actually his bodyguard.
Well, Billy Gibbons is just one of those. First of all, I think ZZ Top, if you want to talk about greatest rock and roll bands of all time, especially if you're going to break it down to greatest American bands, they're up there with anybody. You gotta say Aerosmith, and the Dead probably, and ZZ Top is right there with any of them. And Billy Gibbons, man, he just has great tone, great style.
He's amazing.
And he never overplays, man. So like that's the mark of a master, in my opinion.
What do you think about this new ZZ Top, though? Because since Dusty Hill passed away, it's like, they're still rocking and rolling. But do you think they should have retired after he died, or do you think it's a good thing to keep the legacy going with the new guy, with Elwood?
Well, I think, if you've got a band, you do whatever you want, and you don't care what Early Times thinks about it. But if I was going to chime in with my opinion, so they got this guy Elwood Francis now on bass, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was like their guitar tech or like a roadie or something.
So he's known them for a long time.
The family already anyway. I think if you still sound good and you're still playing good, I'm all for it. If you're sounding kind of tired and it's, and you got to slow your tempos down and you've got to, move the keys lower and stuff, I still think go for it, but I might not be as interested in it as otherwise, and it's hard. I know when you get up to be like, 70 years old, 80, some of these guys are in their 80s. It's hard to keep that energy and still be able to sing and hit all the high notes and jump around with your instrument and things like that. And God bless the guys, who are still, I just was watching some videos of AC/DC's current tour, and their singer, Brian Johnson, I think is like 77 years old, and he's still out there singing Back in Black, and God bless him for it.
Damn.
It's kind of like Sammy Hagar.
How old are you, Early?
How old am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 54.
Oh, 54.
And
you've been playing for 40 years.
Wow. Hagar's another guy. If you go back, that dude's had a long career going back to Montrose in the early 70s. Yeah. And he was always just a great rock and roll singer. If you just want a good rock voice, hell, Sammy Hagar, why not? Now having said that, I was a little bit more of a as far as Van Halen goes, I was definitely more of a David Lee Roth guy and remain so to this day. But that's a different story,
Will,
Right.
you'll have to unmute yourself so we can hear you because we can't hear you at all. Because our guest that was supposed to be here before you early is finally showed up.
All right. Well, hey, it's just a big party then.
That's right. That's right.
It happens.
Yeah, I know we can't hear you there, Will. You gotta unmute yourself or something. I mean, I don't. Must be your cell phone probably because you have a weird signal since you're on the road. Let's see if he says. Well, we're with early times, everybody here who's watching, and Matt, it's like how do you? I mean, I think I've asked you this question before, but like, how do you juggle your time? With being a radio announcer, and then going on tour, and then just doing other things on the side. I mean, you're a busy guy, so where's the free time?
Well, I basically fail at a lot of things as a result because I do have too much going on. I do my radio shows on Sirius XM, and I'm on the air pretty regularly with them. And just in my music alone, I mean, not only touring, but I mean, it takes time to like write songs. That's not something that just happens in 5-10 minutes. I mean, sometimes you get an inspiration and some will hit you, but it generally, you got to labor over these things. And then now I have my own radio station as well that's online. It's called the Piranha Radio. And I do all the music programming for that. It's kind of a blues-centric kind of radio station, but then on the weekends I've got some other types of like specialty shows as well. I've got a Saturday night rock party show. I've got an acoustic show on Sundays. Saturday mornings I have a straight-ahead jazz show. I've got a vocal show. I just built that out in recently, but it's up and running. I've got an app now for it for iPhones, and I've got an app coming for Androids in any Android product in the next week or two. That's in development right now. And you can also, if you have a Roku TV, you can also get Piranha Radio through that by just downloading the app called Live 365, and then you just search for Piranha Radio. So that's a whole other thing that takes a lot of my time as well, in addition to just trying to have what I can have of a personal life as well. So I tell you this, Frankie, one thing that I try to do, and I'm not great at it, but I try my best, is to write things down. What do I need to do today? And I might not cross every single thing off by the end of the day, but at least it gives me like a direction on where to go. And if I miss something on a Tuesday, well, maybe I can get it on Wednesday or something like that.
Sure.
So, but I stay busy because, it's out of fear, man. Like I'm always afraid of not having something. And so that's why I kind of, in some ways, I probably overwork myself, but it's just that really it's out of fear of having I know what it's like when things kind of like fall through the floor and the roof caves in on you and
Sure.
man, it's not a fun place for me to be, and it does we all go through it. What's the old line, upon us all a little rain must fall, and sometimes that rain falls hard, but that's how I do it. I try to schedule my time as best I can, and I try not to, and I don't really like which is probably to my detriment, but I'm not really out all the time socializing in the clubs and things like that and hanging out. Not that I don't like to do that, but I just know I can't. The next morning I would pay the price. If I'm coming in at 3 a.m. every night, I'm going to pay the price for it the next day and a couple of days. And so I kind of try to limit that stuff only because I think it's probably better for me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you gotta have that balance too.
Again.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you early. I mean, I really, really do appreciate having you on. And let people know again when is the album coming out? What day is release date?
And send me you guys' emails, and I'll send you a link to the new album if you guys have interest in it. It's very I think you guys will probably like it because it's like old school album where we went into a studio and in 5 hours we recorded all the tracks for the album. You know, we got to work. It feels live, you know, but it's very well produced. The guy who mixes it, Jay Messina, is best known for mixing a lot of those classic Aerosmith records in the 70s. He mixed the Cheap Trick at Budokan album. He's just done. He mixed the Kiss Destroyer album with Detroit Rock City and Beth and all that stuff. So so it sounds good, but it still has that old school live energy to it, and I just still like that. I like that way of recording, and that you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to vibe, and it has to groove and have gel. So you can always check out my website, earlytimes.co. And then I'm on, you know, Facebook and Instagram and things like that. You can find me there. And I really appreciate talking to you guys.
I had you on Facebook.
I didn't get a chance to talk, man, but next time.
I had you on
Great
Facebook.
having you on again, man.
Hey, Early, I had you on Facebook, so.
Great. Well, listen, guys, thank you for having me, and I look forward to the next time we can talk together, all right?
Absolutely. We appreciate you, Early.
Thank you.
Thanks again. All right. Well, now we go from one guest to another and kind of backwards, but it's okay. Time got mixed up a little bit, and that happens sometimes when you're dealing with a lot of that stuff. But what's going on there, Will? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm so sorry. Like I was on one other podcast today, and I thought I felt pretty popular. But when I jumped in, I started listening to him talk about all of his podcasts, and I was like, man, I'm not anybody who's doing podcasts. I need to up my podcast game.
You're something special to us because you know I didn't tell Early this, but the guys know your story a little bit. That you and your brother Hank were known as Baby Oscar in the legendary movie Ghostbusters 2, and that's one of my favorite movies of all time. So we had to have you on.
That's awesome. I'm glad it's one of your favorites too, because you know what everyone usually says, like, "Oh, you were Baby Oscar. That's cool. I like the first one." You know, and I was like,
yeah, you did that.
Dang, if only I was in the first one, you know, and they'd be like, if it's not like a true Ghostbusters fan, like, or at least, you know, somebody who's a little bit more into the culture, they're just like, yeah, you know, it really just kind of seemed like a ripoff of the first one. And I was like, man,
I know how you feel, Will.
Good.
Yeah, because Lance, well, I'm going to say that because we have some royalty around here. So Lance,
I like the part two. I like the part two connection. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Lance's dad was Mike Myers in Halloween 2 back from 82 or 81? 82?
Really?
81.
Yeah, 81.
Oh
Yeah,
man, that is awesome.
And he was a boombox boy, so he survived.
So I was in a part two as well, with many people saying, "Yeah, I like the first one better, though."
So you get it. That makes me feel better because not many
Love
people
it.
can relate on that, right? They're like, "Why are you complaining about being in a movie?"
Exactly. That's
cool.
good.
Yeah. So how do you pronounce your last name? Because I'm sure I've butchered it a few times.
It's pronounced Deutschendorf, but like I say Deutschendorf because my grandpa said Deutschendorf, and that's what my dad says is say Deutschendorf. I don't know if that's because it was like you didn't want to sound German back in like the 1950s and 60s, or you know, like right after World War II. So my grandpa was like, just don't say it like that. I don't know what the deal is. Because it's weird, because I don't know a lot of people that pronounce their last name the way other people would say it, and not the way they.
Well, my brother's Mad Dog. Our last name is Lutz, Lutz. Some people say Lutz, and some people say Lutz. Yeah.
All my life I got lots.
Yeah, Lutz or Lutz. Yeah, and we like the name Lutz. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, hey, Lutz is good. I'm not good with names or words anyway, so I think it was also like cool. I can say that. Like I've always been a very. I'm a martial arts guy. I'm a very kinesthetic person. I don't do words good. You know, I don't.
Yeah, that
So-
your actions speak louder than your words, right? That's it.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, your last name's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, well, that's why my uncle's John Denver. That's why he went by Denver, was because who the heck's gonna listen to, John
Deutschendorf.
stage? And doesn't
That's
sound
right.
a bad ring to it.
Was that your uncle? John Denver was your uncle?
So that
Yeah,
was your
yeah.
uncle, huh?
Yeah.
And everyone thinks
Yeah.
that's how we ended up getting in the movie. Is like, oh, you had a famous relative, but that's not how it happened. We just ended up like we were in a twin group that my mom was probably just like, I wish she would get into more support groups, because that was probably like the best thing for her, was this twin support group. And I've only ever had one kid at a time. I don't know how you survive two at the same time. But yeah, that was like how we got in, was they were just looking for babies, because you can only air on set for 2 hours, child labor laws. Child labor laws.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, my brother and my family have someone famous in the family too. That's me.
Oh yeah?
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're waiting for the punchline here.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, because Sam here does a tribute to Sam Kinison. Like that was his stick back about 25 years ago.
Retired, yeah. Remember Sam Kinison? He might not remember Sam Kinison.
Oh wow, okay.
You know who
No,
Sam
no.
Kinison?
I'm terrible with names. Like, who was?
He
You have
was a
to
comedian that
tell me.
speaks all the time. Well, how old are you? You're young. I mean, you got to be in what, 20s?
I'm
30s?
36. I look 55 with my bald head, but I'm 36. So I mean,
Hey, quit talking about.
but I love
bald
comedians,
head.
so I'm surprised I don't know him. Like,
Yeah,
what was his name? Sam.
He died in 1992. Sam Kinison.
Sam Kinison.
This is actually me, but I was identical looking to him.
Wow, you're right. I don't know how I don't recognize. I'm gonna have to look up his stand-up. Is he physical humor, or is he more like?
Well, yeah. If you want to look him up, you'll see him all the time. Sam Kinison.
You remember the movie Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield? He was in a scene in that. You're way too.
Oh yeah? No. I know Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School. Like I said, I like stand-up comedy, so I'm surprised. I'm gonna have to look him up now.
Sam was the school teacher that screamed at Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
well, we're getting an
finally
inside
jumping in
tour
my
of your
house
house now.
Exactly. No, like, and I feel so bad because I'm like, I told my wife, and like, family time is really important to us. Like I'm kind of like that last guy who was on. I'm sorry I didn't catch his name, but like, I run around a lot. I stay busy, so it's like, okay, Monday is family day. I'm like, okay, can I do a podcast? And it's like, no, you can't. Like, my wife was not cool with the idea at all. But I, because of it being for my brother and because of the thing she knows I'm passionate about it. She was like, okay, well, we'll go over to your parents and then you can jump in, and do it really fast. But now that I screwed up, I think I get a little bit more leeway to hang out with you guys, which is nice because I don't get to feel popular very often in the families of like 3 girls and my wife. I feel like sometimes I'm like, me and the one boy dog are like this sometimes.
Sure.
So,
None of us ever get to feel popular too often either.
yeah.
And I suppose too, it's like they're probably over the whole like, oh yeah, we know you were in Ghostbusters too, big whoop, whatever,
Exactly. My kids don't they don't really care, like it, and I think that's everybody, right? Just like for some kids, I'm like a martial arts master. Wow, that's so cool. And then my kids are like, oh man, like you really want to practice right now, like, can't we go do something
Dad,
fun
another rear naked joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I lost audio here.
Yeah, same with me. I was a professional wrestler. You think my kids would be like, oh, hey, all my kids' friends are like, hey, let's go over to Lutz's house and see his dad, man. He's a professional wrestler.
Weird.
And my kids be like, why would you want to go over and meet him? Who cares,
Yeah, that's crazy. I have some connection issues there, Will.
I'm going to jump out and back in because I can't hear any.
All right.
And
StreamYard.
Well, I think it just is
Ping
connected.
pong.
It's probably his phone. Remember when Al was having problems with his phone, too? Some people do. He probably has an iPhone, probably. I would imagine.
Yeah, it could be where his Wi-Fi is at. You know what I mean?
Could be
Yeah,
true.
but
Trouble getting in and out.
he actually sounded better in his car than he did at home.
Yeah, I apologize for the extra time here, but I just figured since he will to come back.
Hey, I got nothing to do.
Perfect.
I kind of got to pee.
There we are.
Go take a pee then. We'll still be here.
Go pee.
Yeah.
Don't let me hold you up, man. Like,
yeah.
I got my bag on. I got my bag on.
Think of running water.
Well,
I want to hear more. I want to hear more, Will.
How does this show work? Because I feel terrible. You guys have been here for 2.5 hours. Like, I can't even get my friends to hang out with me for that long with their kids.
Well,
and everything. Like,
it's because
how
I'm
are you
the one
guys swinging this?
I'm the one I'm the co-founder and the creator of the show, just like the Screaming Sam, but I'm pretty much the guy who runs everything pretty much. And it was our vision, but I wanted to do a podcast that was kind of different than the norm because I'm in northern Minnesota, so I'm not anywhere near most of these guys and gals.
Really?
Well, gal, but not. Yeah, everybody's kind of spread out. But I wanted to find a group of people that were involved with entertainment. I mean, we got Sam Kinison tribute artists. We got Halloween fame. We got wrestling fame. We got freaking nephew of Wolfman Jack. I mean, we got South Dakota singer and everything. Yeah, and all types of stuff. And it's just like and I've always loved pop culture. I've done interviews since 2006. July will be 20 or 19 years since I did my first interview, and I was pregnant to have a Valentine. So I've been a big pop culture fan for a long time, and I've always loved Ghostbusters and Back to the Future. And I grew up in '83, so it's like that's when I was born, and so I'm 41, but my mind's still set on like 27 or whatever, maybe, or 28. But anyway, we do the show every Monday. We do the show every Monday, and it's just like it's a who's who of nobody knows what's going to happen most of the time until it happens. So having you be late, it's happened a lot. People sometimes they screw up the time because of the time, so it's like it's confusing to everybody. So don't feel bad.
That's awfully cool, man, because like I've been trying to have a D&D group going for like we started in COVID, and when one person shows up late, like I feel like my old Grammy who like would hold 80-year grudges with people. I'm like, you son of a how dare you show up late? Like we've been waiting for so I am like usually pretty big on punctuality, so I appreciate you still squeezing me in.
Yeah, no problem. Now tell the guys kind of what your purpose is now of because you suffered some loss. That was a big tragic loss in your life, and losing your twin brother. Explain kind of that whole process and like was your brother like what caused him to commit suicide?
So he was always smarter than me. Like that's the easiest way to like put it. And if Cleaning Up the Town ever releases like their video footage of like interviewing us, because they did it like 13, 14 years ago, like you'll see like he is actually like smarter and probably funnier and wittier than me. So I was always kind of playing catch up with Hank up until college, where I don't know if it's because I knew like I wasn't as smart, or whatever, but I was like, man, I really like have to like go to every class and I have to work hard because like I don't have the intelligent or the brains to do this, so I'm gonna need to be there as much as possible. I thought Hank was just kind of like slacking off because he was, smart, and I was like, I guess he doesn't need to go to class, but I guess he was kind of already starting to deal with a lot of mental health problems. It was a matter of time before like what I thought was him having this personality of Skippy and Droopy, which was my joke, like Droopy the dog. Like, he would just all of a sudden seem so like melancholy and flat and like Ben Stein, from Ferris Bueller's Day. It would be like that. And I'd be like, dude, what is wrong with you? Where did Droopy come from? That was actually like early signs of him being bipolar, and I see that now. Like there was emotional reactions he had that didn't fit, that I was like thinking like, wow, what's up with him? Why's he got to be such a jerk sometimes? So he eventually, to compound that, he developed schizophrenia, And so my thing on here, especially to any young guys, listen, it's like 18 to 25. Like everyone gets into smoking weed and doing drugs in college. Like wait until after 25. Let your brain finish developing before you do anything that could be, in my eyes, like an entheogen or a hallucinogen or anything like that, or anything psychoactive. Because I didn't know we had a family history of mental illness like that because no one talked about it. I knew we had a crazy aunt. God, I hope Aunt Kathy doesn't listen to this. She's better now, but she always said she wasn't the crazy one. So I don't know what to do with that information. You know what I mean? Like, like
I get you. I get you.
yeah. So anyway, long story short, Hank developed schizophrenia. For like 9 years, I ran our business together and tried to keep him going. And in the midst of all of that, like eventually he took his life. And there's so many like negative like stereotypes about mental illness and mental health, and for me I just want to like start destigmatizing and demystifying all of the bull around mental illness and schizophrenia and suicide loss and just men's health in general, because like the main thing for me is men kill themselves. We're way better at it than women. Like women have a lot of benefits, but like we are dominating that, unfortunately. And there's a lot of really good reasons why, and I think it starts with what I did, ended up doing, which is like going to a support group. Because when Hank killed himself, I was like, man, I've been trying to get him to go to therapy forever. I really need to go get some help because I know after this I'm messed up. Are you guys allowed to swear on the show or not? I don't know.
Absolutely. Go
Oh,
right
thank
ahead.
God. I'm like trying so hard not. I
Say whatever
I
you want.
in my family, I come from poor white people from Oklahoma, so you can imagine we don't really talk fucking good. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
when I hang
yeah.
out with my family, it's pretty like, you know. But you know, you also isolate yourself from an audience. But in my eyes, it's like if I don't talk like a normal fucking guy, no one's gonna listen to what I have to say.
I'm going through that right
Absolutely.
now. I had my best friend committed suicide 5 months
Really?
ago, and I'm lost.
Damn, Mad Dog, I'm so sorry. That I really am genuinely sorry because this is by far the hardest thing I've had to go through, is losing my best friend to suicide. You know, like so I like that's like a great starting point. Like, how many people have you told about that? Like, what was his name?
Mike, my buddy Mike, yeah. I was with him all day, you know, and I went home. I didn't get in my front door, and his wife was calling me, screaming and hollering. Never think you cut your buddy off of a cellar roof, you know.
Yeah, man. So you had to find him too,
Well, yeah, just about.
dude. See, you're fucking traumatized, dude. That fucks you up, like hardcore
Yeah.
fucks you up.
Nobody believes it. Yeah, and I'm supposed to be a tough guy all the time, but it's tough.
Well, how the fuck are you
Sometimes
supposed to be
shit.
tough with that though? Like that's an image you're never gonna fucking get out of your head. You have to fucking figure out a way to find meaning in something that inherently is fucking meaningless and terrible and seemingly saps the love and connection you had out of one of your closest relationships. Like
Yeah.
that's fucked up. It's terrible. And that's what I'm trying to do, is raise awareness about shit like that. Cause like you need to talk about that shit. And that's the thing. You need to get around other guys and talk about it. Like who fucking get it. Not around like fucking like what I had to do, which was like basically meet in a hospital basement with a bunch of old Christian women, you know. But I was like, fuck it. This is better than not. Like this is all they got, you know. Like I guess this is the I guess this is what I'm doing. Cause I was like, I had to talk about it. I had to fucking at least be exposed to people who found meaning and like support and like the way through it every day. Cause otherwise I was like, dude, I'm fucking gonna kill myself too. Like this is terrible. Like I spent 9 years trying to keep him alive. Like it was my main reason in life to get up, was like I fucking am depressed because sometimes life sucks, but if I don't fucking go to work and make sure that the doors stay open, Hank doesn't have a job, I know he's gonna do something stupid or hurt himself or end up in a bad place. Like he needs this fucking place. So that like that went away. So I had to talk to people and be like, how the fuck do you find a second life after this? You know, which is really what I have now. And I can say after doing the support group and doing like therapy and the other 15,000 things I found, you know, that work for me that might not work for somebody else, but like I study myself and I know it works for me. Like I am stronger now and more resilient and better able to help people. I am still fucking sad on my birthday. I fucking hate my birthday. I do the best I can. I'm working through that. But last year, like I got to where I could let my girls celebrate me for the first time. Fuck, I'm starting to get all teary-eyed just thinking about, you know what I mean? Like, but like I needed to let them like be happy I was alive because most of them know me as one whole complete person, but I don't feel that way, right?
Yeah.
How long's it been, Will?
It's going on 8 years, in June 14th. So this is always kind of a weird period for me. Like this is still a like May to like June is kind of hard. I hate summer. Like it's just and I mean have any of you guys experienced loss like this? Like suicide, drug overdose?
I just recently lost my biological father that was not really in my life much, and went to his funeral this weekend and saw him in the casket. Boy, that was a eye-opening experience, that's for sure. I wish they would have just cremated him, to be honest. You know, that kind of fucks me up too. Oh yeah, because he died of cancer. He was 67, so he lived a good amount of life, but yeah, it's just kind of
Nah, you see, that's like a whole nother thing. Like, we just don't handle loss well around here. Like, I thought when someone dies, like my Grammy, we fly out as a family, we get shit-faced drunk for a week, and then we go home and we talk about it every now and then, like when we're drunk. And that was how I learned to grieve. And I can't, it took me forever to realize like that wasn't healthy. Like, it really isn't, you know?
So what were kind of your guys' plans of say if he wouldn't have ever committed suicide? Like, I'm sure you guys had some long-term goals of what you wanted to accomplish together.
You know, originally it was like we're gonna train and do everything together, right? Like we're gonna go like travel to Thailand and do Thai boxing and like do you know, like open up multiple locations. Like I wanted to compete professionally, which as soon as he got schizophrenia, that went right out the window. It became like, wow, we're gonna start a martial arts school in college and like have so much fun to surviving really fast. Like I didn't even get to grieve losing him to schizophrenia because I jumped right into that caretaker role of like helping him. So like, yeah, I try not to even think about that shit anymore. Like all of the dreams we had, like now it's just like, nah, that's just the way it is. I'm gonna head back to my car because I'm supposed to be picking up food for the wife and everyone too. So
What got you guys into martial arts? Oh, that's where the Wi-Fi gets out again. Crap.
Second, just gonna make sure I don't mess this up. Hopefully you guys will still be able to see me okay.
Yeah.
I want a free. Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you.
Cool. Yeah, I want a free trial and what's never get people from this lead box. Like you win a free month of martial arts training. And I joined this McDojo and I had a lot of anxiety as a kid anyway. Like I had a lot of social anxiety. I don't know how I would never be able to talk to you guys before Hank died like this in this format. Like I would have way too much social anxiety. That shit went out the window after he died. Like it was just too, you know, that internal pain kind of took over. But you know, so my goal with this thing that I was doing, let me get back on track because I want to make sure like I have obviously a little bit of ADD. For me, like I'm the goal is to try and spread awareness about suicide postvention, which is basically like when something shitty happens like suicide, you talk about it. And by talking about it and finding support through your loss, you actually now can talk about mental illness and you can find purpose in that loss because now, like for Mad Dog, like you get to where you understand and get through all of the grief and all the bullshit associated with the loss. Like now, like you can help other men and other people like realize like they're not alone and that they can reach out and get support, you know, because like we all get depressed, right? Like I've been depressed. I've also had suicidal ideation. They're two very different things. I've never been so bad that I felt like I was on fire like Hank, and I wanted to, you know, put the fire out. But I've definitely had thoughts of like, man, I can't take this shit anymore. I had those thoughts about Hank when he was alive. So it's about finding that kind of meaning in your loss, you know, and it starts with like, these people need money because everyone supports suicide prevention. And I always think that's kind of stupid. Like, what do you guys think suicide prevention is? Like, what does that money even fucking do? You know, like,
Yeah.
to
Well, how
me,
do you know where
suicide
it's going?
prevention, what is it? What's that?
I said, how do you even know where it's going?
Like, I know that, like, the AFSP has a giant corporate building, and that seems kind of weird for a nonprofit, you know, like, to me, like, suicide prevention would be like when kids are young, teaching them how to deal with their mental health and how to deal with trauma and grief and like things we've learned in psychology and sociology to help them cope, and giving them tools. Not like, hey, you're suicidal now. It's all, you know, it's all like intervention after the fact. Like, yeah, this, and I do still want to do that. Like, we still got to do that. We still need to get to the point where we can have a group of alpha male guys who are hardcore, who want to do something like I was doing with a jujitsu seminar, like come and roll for 3 hours and then talk about their grief. Eventually, like, we need to get people to do that too. But like, if we're always working at it from that angle, like, we're never going to do my goal, which is to end suicide because of mental illness. If you want to kill yourself because you have cancer and you're done fighting and like you're done, like, I'm not going to try to keep you around. Like, but when it comes to mental illness, I do feel like you're not making the decision, your illness is making it when you decide to end your life. That's very different to me than like my dad and his chronic pain, you know?
Yes.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
Yep.
For sure. Well, what is the website
Yes, because back.
well, go ahead there, Lance. I didn't mean
No,
to-
I was just going to say, because back in 2015, we had a family member who was 27-year-old male who was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and now just living with it and medicated. But I mean, there was the ideation, and you know, there was a lot we all had to kind of deal with, and it really is pretty heavy. So bravo to you.
I mean, thank you. I feel like, you know, it's like this Zig Ziglar quote I always remember. If you see a turtle on a signpost, like you can guarantee it didn't get there by itself. Like, that's how I feel. Like, I've had so many people come into my life who have helped me through the loss. And I feel like that's like also a component of like grief, is like I'm spiritual now. Before, I didn't want to hear the devil or Jesus talking to me like my brother. So I would just cut myself off from all spirituality. Like, I didn't believe in any of that stuff. And now it's like totally different for me. Like, I'm not gonna pretend like I don't believe in a greater power. I feel more connected to my brother now, and I feel good about a relationship than I did when he was alive. Like, it's a very different place to be. So yeah, I feel like it takes a village, man. It really does. And if someone's struggling, like, I don't want them to think that there's no hope. I mean, to the extent that, like, I named my last daughter Hope, you know? So if somebody feels like they're hopeless, I'm like, dude, don't worry. Like, hope is right over there in the jumper, you know? Like you can't, like, you got to have that mindset of, like, don't give up no matter what. Same reason why our patch is the tiger, right? Like, the tiger, like, the fighting spirit of the tiger is like, doesn't matter if I'm going in against Godzilla, like, I'm going to keep on fighting even if I know I can't win. Like, that's my mindset when it comes to, like, fighting and self-defense. Is you have to develop that part of yourself in case my own brain starts telling me you should probably, like, give up. You know?
Yeah.
Well, it was It was because of Ghostbusters.com that I heard about your post that you were going in the first place. I knew you were on Facebook, but I didn't really know what you had been up to. We don't hear much about you much, whatever. Which is I live a private life anyway. I would suspect. But I mean, you're about to go to the news, so can you tell the guys what's on the line if they donate?
Yeah. So I've got a Facebook fundraiser for my birthday where we're trying to raise $5,000, and it's not going to be enough to like stop what I'm talking about. But even if you just donate, like, it helps an organization that I know is really strong about like trying to change the way people view the loss, and they only help people who've lost someone to suicide. And to me, that's the important thing, because like, we need more support groups. We need more connection with each other. Like, even if you have to settle for like being on like a podcast online like this instead of in the same studio, like, even this is so much better. But I still feel like if we were all sitting in the same room, like, I would definitely feel your guys' energy and heaviness differently. I'm empathic. I like being around people. I like being around their energy. I can still sense it on a podcast or on Zoom, but like, I did Zoom for a year on COVID. It's different. I did support groups that I ran, and that's what I do now too. The support groups, like it's different than getting in a room where like you can hug someone and be like, dude, that freaking sucks. I'm sorry. Like, and I don't like, my love language is giving, is like touch, like everyone's got a love language. So when I can't be in the same room with somebody, like, it's weird. I just feel like there's a disconnect. So yeah, if you could,
I feel that, yeah.
check out the Facebook fundraiser, and and then just like, if you're having some fucking problems, like, find someone to talk to, and make sure you find the right person. Like, my best friend finally went to therapy after he got divorced. Maybe the shit wouldn't have happened. But like, if you find somebody who just reinforces all the same problems, it's like, it doesn't help. Like, you can have one victim-minded person in a group and ruin it for everyone else.
Yep.
If there's not like a good facilitator there.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we appreciate you, Will. I mean, really, this has been a really good interview. You're a good speaker. I think you should do public speaking, because you definitely get to the point, and you definitely touch the hard things. So kudos to you.
I appreciate that, man. I feel like I was talking too much. Like,
no, it's good. It's good.
I'm definitely, well, you guys can invite me back anytime, because I'm like honored to even be on the podcast, because like, I want to just, and next time I'll be like at a laptop with a microphone, because I really feel like any platform where I can talk about men's health, and like, Ghostbusters is like just one way,
Oh, yeah. Well, if you ever decide that you do have a Monday free where you don't have anything going on, we're always looking for more members of the crew, and we'd be honored to have you on anytime you want. We're on every Monday.
Hey, that sounds great.
So all you gotta do is let me know.
Hey, when my wife goes out of town to Seattle, they go like, I think it's in July, like early July. Freaking, I'll hit you up. I'll freaking jump on this thing. That would be cool.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be doing. We're taking a little bit of a break for the summertime, but we're still just doing things. Maybe I could use your help, for some interviews or whatever on the side. And then we're starting season 5 August 4th.
Well, and I would think that we probably need to say at least congratulations on the martial arts academy, because what you're doing with the youth and adults, but I know for a fact you're changing lives doing that. So that's just bravo also.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. And you kind of hit it on the head right there too, because like, another big component of what I'm doing is going back and getting my master's in counseling, because like, I had adults come back who trained with me as kids at 10, and they left these amazing black belts who could kick ass and flip and do all these amazing physical things. And then life hit them in college, and like, they fall apart or they struggle. And I'm like, what the hell am I missing that I'm not giving these kids? You know, so like that's why I'm going back and I'm trying to implement and integrate all of those skills that I'm learning in my program so that they don't just learn to defend themselves against like punches and kicks or a knife, but like also life, you know, because life hits hard. It's like that Rocky quote, you know, like nothing's going to hit you harder than life.
Yep.
That's for
Well,
sure.
bravo, man.
Well, we appreciate you, Will, and thank you for being part of the Renegade Radio experience. Now I can mark this off the list of another Ghostbuster person
Right on, man. All right. Well, I'm going to.
Renegade. Hit my music.
All right, guys. Well, this has been another great edition of Renegade Radio. I have no idea who's going to be on next weekend, but tune in next week and you'll find out. Making talk along with Lance, that we'll see you next week. Edition of Renegade Radio. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Will.
I think.
VHS tapes on my old shelf, posters hanging, can't help myself. John Hughes classics, the Brat Packs run, blockbusters ruling, the action's fun. Back to the Future with Michael J. Ghostbusters fighting the ghostly play. Armored heroes in turtle shells, Batman's cape casting mighty spells. Guess who's back? It's Marty McFly. Racing the DeLorean, we're gonna fly high. Gremlins causing chaos. Ferris took a day. Dialing up the classics in the old VCR way. VCR way. Get down now. Arnold's on the screen, Terminator's glare, E.T.'s phoning home, Spielberg's flare. Rocky's in the ring, punching through the pain, aliens invade, and Ripley's game. Back to the Future with Michael J. Ghostbusters fighting the ghostly play. Armored heroes in turtle shells, Batman's cape casting mighty spells. Guess who's back? It's Marty McFly. Racing the DeLorean, we're gonna fly high. Gremlins causing chaos. Ferris took a day. Dialing up the classics in the old VCR way. Top Gun Mavericks and Die Hard thrills, cruising through the decades, seeking cheap chills. From Jurassic Park's Dino screams at night to Wayne and Garth partying with all their might, singing Hakuna Matata, feeling carefree. The Lion King's roar in our memories. Living in a golden age where legends thrive. Karate Kid kicking makes us feel alive. From Indiana Jones with his whip in hand to Pretty Woman roaming Wonderland. Flashbacks to the silver screen in Hollywood's gleam, imagining the stories, living out the dream. Back to the Future with Michael J. Ghostbusters fighting the ghostly play. Armored heroes in turtle shells, Batman's cape casting mighty spells. Guess who's back? It's Marty McFly. Racing the DeLorean, we're gonna fly high.
I gotta see this. My son loves that. What do you call a deaf gynecologist?
A what?
A deaf gynecologist.
I have no idea.
A lip reader.
Where did you get that?